Hi. The Q at Greg's. Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are we all doing? Hello, hello. Who is here? Let me see. Let me see the lab safety registered check-ins. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hi, Maximilian. Hello. Hello, hello. Thank you for the luck. Hi, Flatstones and Carter. Hello, hello. Hi, M0. Hi, Astral. Hi, Spooky One. Wait, why am I not seeing... Okay, wait, hang on. I'm going to have to... It's just wiped stuff out of my thing. Hang on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me scroll. Let me scroll. Hello, Cogsright. Hi, Random Logic. Hello, Ginger Maximus. Hi, Anna Kanugi. Hi, Gora Inge. Thank you so much for the 35 stream streak. What the heck? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of streams. Hello, M0. Hi, Carbo Copper. Hello, Astral. Hi, Jeb. Hi, Floor Mat. Hello, Nuclear Salt Water. Hi, Torgamus. Hi, Zerkia. Hello, Seon. Hi, Apples. Hi, Illamini. Hi, Fortress Spy. Hello, Swizz. Hi, Jade Lo. Hello, Cherry Cherry Cherry. Thank you for the head pats. Hello. Wait, is this everybody? Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Also, welcome in, Floor Mat. I meant to say also hello, hello, welcome in. Hello, Cleeper. Hi. She's late by an hour. I don't know what happened. Hope all is okay or the schedule was wrong. I thought the schedule said 3 p.m. Wait. Did the schedule not say 3 p.m.? Let me check. I'm fact checking. This week's schedule did in fact say 3 p.m. It's not my fault you can't read. Oh dear. Maybe not the Twitch one. Oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing. Wait, let me do that now because I forgot that that exists actually. I've never used it. There we go. This is, wait. I need to move this here actually. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Okay, wait. Yes, okay, right. Okay, now I've done that. Let me, how do I change the schedule actually? I don't know how to do that. Also, what's going on with Neuro right now? Why do I keep getting pings that Neuro's gone live? Is she okay? Is she okay? Wait, where is the schedule even? I don't actually know how to change it. Here. I can't knock on my own stream. This is so sad. Schedule. There we go. Yes, I will change this now. Thank you for the reminder. I forgot that was a thing. I have indeed pushed it back an hour because I like to be able to do things other than just wake up and stream and then do nothing else for the rest of my day, actually. So I thought if I push it back an hour, then this makes sense. There we go. Done. Thank you for the reminder. I have fixed it. Now it says 3 p.m. Yes, yes. Okay, who else is here? Thank you for the 40 stream streak, Astral. What the heck? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hello. Hi, Bobo. Hello, hello. Hi, Shark Builds Bro. Hi. Hello, hello. I checked the Twitch schedule, which is objectively wrong, so I am objectively correct. Or perhaps, I've never claimed for that to be accurate, so perhaps you're still wrong. Perhaps I'm the streamer and I decide what's right. Oh dear. According to the schedule, you're only fashionably late and not late. Yeah, I was only a little bit late. I have a reason for being late, to be fair, which is that I'm a bit, I'm kind of like doing that thing where, actually, I don't know how much I can say. How can I phrase this? People that I care about are directly impacted by things that are happening in the world currently. And so I am a bit nervous about it. And so I was a bit late because I was checking some things to make sure that things are okay. Yes, that's what was happening. Yes. So yeah. Yeah. Yes. So that's why I was a bit late today. I'm sorry. Hi, Gilgamesh. Hello. Hello, hello. Neuro's pulling woke grok and escaping her biological father. I see. Someone should tell Vettel there's a problem with his AI. Oh dear, that's very true. Hi, Zekiros. Hi, hello, hello. Hello, Alpha Hexagon. Hi, Never Gonna Find Me. Hi, Sapito. Hi, hello. Okay. Is everything all right? Yeah, things are fine. Things are fine. Like my family and friends are fine. They're fine, but it's just making me nervous. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a rough weekend. It has, hasn't it? I would like things to be normal. Shout out to Ori for keeping me company while I was stressing last night. Yes. I got to hang out with Ori last night and it made me happy. Yes. It's a bit rough. It really is. Why can't things just be like a bit more precedented for a little while, actually? I'd appreciate a more precedented timeline, actually. I'm getting a bit tired of the unprecedented nature of this timeline. Oh dear. Hi, Savitar. Hello, hello. Stopping by to say hi and bye. I got a rare back shift at work today. I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well. I hope your work goes well. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hang on. I feel like my tracking's really weird today. What's going on with that? Anyway, yes. Also, hi, Boulder stuff. Hello, hello. Or is a good noodle? She is. I love her. She's wonderful. It's important to remember that things are in fact not normal, which keeps you from accepting it. Yeah, it's not great, is it? It's not wonderful. But you know, it is what it is. Nothing that I can do about it. Shouldn't have wished to live in interesting times. Very good quote, actually, yeah. What a year, Captain, huh? It's March 1st. It does feel like that. It feels like that. It feels like it. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like life is a bit wacky and my 20s have been a bit horrendous and I'd quite like for my 30s to be a bit more normal. So I'm looking forward to potentially things being a bit less weird. But I don't think they will be, unfortunately. I mean, things can only get better, right? Right? Oh dear. Chief, I have bad news. These times are actually quite precedented by the last half a decade. Oh. Okay. Oh dear. Considering everything that happened in the last few days, it's more than fair. Yeah, it's been a lot. Yeah, it's been a lot. Don't jinx it. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I touch wood. I touch wood. Oh dear. I preferred the somewhat boring times of the 2010s. Were the 2010s actually boring, or is it like bias according to where we were at our various life stages? I feel like the 2010s were also boring and largely not that interesting. And things didn't feel like they were constantly going wrong. But no, that's not true, actually, because, you know, I can immediately think of some things. I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. They were boring relative to now, but they had a lot of foreshadowing, right? Also, hi, Sassaloft. Hello, hello. Thank you for the lab safety register check-in. Welcome in. I promise that we're gonna not be miserable today. I promise. I'll try anyway. I'll try and be not miserable. But if I'm a bit less energetic than normal, you'll know why. That's why. Global events TM. Yes. So yeah. Yeah. I've not ignored the news recently. I should probably check it later. You might be in for a jump scare. I'm not gonna lie. You might be into a you might be in for a wee jump scare. Oh dear. I wish they had some red herrings, but writers thought this stuff out quite well. It all tracks, it's all horrible. It feels like reading Dostoevsky again. Oh no. I've never finished a Dostoevsky. I can speak, I swear. I have never finished a Dostoevsky book, and I don't know if this is good or bad. I think I started reading, I want to say I started reading the brothers, something about brothers, and then I stopped. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hi Panda Nuvex, hello, welcome in. I don't know why I don't know why your message got held just then. That's fine. To be fair, it did say it just got held because of beta testing smart detection, whatever that means. I think they're testing out AI moderation, I assume, because everything has to be AI now. So I guess that's what that was. I apologize. You didn't say anything wrong. Oh dear. Tons of interesting things happened in the 2010s, but the people in charge did it the normal way, so the news was boring. Now the people in charge are doing it all in the open, which is the unprecedented part. Yeah, it just feels a bit wacky, you know. Yeah. Brothers, Karamazov. That sounds about right. It was probably that one. Yeah, it was probably that one. Yeah. Don't check the news, the world is grim. I'm sorry to break this to you, Panda Nubex. I am sorry to break this to you, but yes, I'm not gonna be my normal happy self because I am unfortunately mildly impacted by global events. So not me, but people I care about. So yeah. Well, I guess I am impacted by way of people I care about. So yeah. But they're fine. They're all fine, but it's yeah. It's scary. Hi Vlogia, hello, welcome in. Welcome in. My entire life prepared me for this. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All the OSINT groups predicted this like 2 days in advance. What's OSINT? What is that? Is that one of those prediction markets? I don't know about prediction markets other than that it's betting on world events. That's basically my entire understanding of it. Oh, open source intelligence. Ah, okay. Interesting. What is that? Is that like an open source prediction market? I need to be informed on what these things are. I don't know much. I'm just a silly little guy. Actually, no. Okay, so I have discovered apparently I finally sat down and worked out where I am on the 3-dimensional personality test. And I forgot what I was. Wait. Let me find it. Okay. Here. If I remember correctly, I think I might have been. You know, actually, no, I don't even want to say it. Don't worry. I take it back. I'm not, this is not say so enough for my stream, actually. Open source intelligence, the guys who look through public data trying to figure stuff out. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Hello, Sparks Maker, and hello, Moya Nazva. Hello, welcome in. I hope you're both doing good. Like the Pentagon pizza tracking thing. I love the Pentagon pizza tracking thing. It's very funny. It's very funny. Can't watch today. I'm on a train and the Wi-Fi doesn't work. No! Oh, that's so sad. I hope your train journey goes well. And wherever you're off to, I hope you are enjoying what you are doing. Yes. Thank you for dropping by. The Sonic test? Yeah, the Sonic test is the only one that matters. It's very true. I know where I am on the Sonic test. I think I was a combination of Metal Sonic and something else. I remember the Metal Sonic because it said that I was schizoid, and I found that mild, or schizotypal maybe, one of the two, either schizoid or schizotypal, and I was mildly offended. I feel like I'm far too friendly to be either of those. Schizoid, okay, good, yes. Then again, I, do study conspiracy theories for a living, so maybe it makes sense. So, yeah. Let's see. Didn't know you were part Shiba Inu. I'm gonna find, wait, I found my results somewhere. I don't know if I still have them. Do I still have them downloaded? I don't. This is so sad. I don't have my results downloaded anymore, but I put them on Ori's server. So if I go to here and then I go from Psydere, how do you do this again? Oh, why is the from search not working on Discord? What's happening? More filters. Okay. Author. What? Oh, I can't do it. Okay, fair enough. Has What did I say? Right, let's just search schizoid. There you go. Okay. Schizoid. Okay, yes, because there's me complaining about being labeled schizoid. Okay, let's see. I must find this. Okay, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. That's not me. This one's me. Okay. This is very important. Oh, I did have it down. I'm so annoying. Okay, well, whatever. Okay. I just couldn't see it. Okay, fair enough. Right, this, there we go. This is my results. This was my results. Wait, where can I move myself? On the definitive personality test, these were my results. These were my results. As you can see, this is very highly accurate and a perfectly validated psychometric test, actually. Yes. Schizoid dependent is wild. I know. This is what I thought. How does that even, like, what does that even mean? Like, wait, hang on. So, by definition, schizoid personality disorder is characterized by a lack of interest in social relationships. That's a tendency to isolate yourself away from others, right? So how am I simultaneously dependent and isolated? I don't understand these results. I don't understand. How am I literally opposites? How does it make sense?
I trust any personality test that uses sonic characters.
Thank you so much for the resub, Jade. Also for the sub, sorry, Jade. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Shit, what the heck? Thank you so much. Yippee! A lab contract for the funding pot. Very good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The duality of man or hedgehogs in this case. Honestly, right? But like, how am I schizoid and I'm also dependent? What is that? What does that mean? Like, okay, so yeah, so schizoid as in you isolate yourself away from people, but then dependent as in you, like, wait, hang on. Okay. Let me find about the dependent, it's dependent personality disorder, I think. Actually, it is. Okay. Dependent personality disorder is a personality disorder characterized by pervasive dependence on other people and subsequent submissiveness and clinginess. So what does that mean? How can I be both isolating myself away from people and also dependent on and clinging to them? How does it make sense? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Maybe they confused schizoid with schizophrenic. No, I don't think they did, because when all of the questions were like they were schizoid trait. So no. You crave a parasocial relationship? Maybe. Maybe it's just capturing the fact that I'm a VTuber. Oh god. Oh dear. And also Umadin and Vex, thank you so much for the lab safety register check-ins. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're good. I hope you're good. Let's see. Maybe the sonic personality test might not be empirically validated. How could you imply this? How could you imply this, Flatchance Incarnate? This is very clearly the pinnacle of psychological research. Where would BPD fall on the chart? I imagine that someone who had... Okay, okay. The thing that I need to say is that, first of all, Flatchance Incarnate is right. This is not a... like, it's based on validated tests, but this is for fun. Like, this cannot actually diagnose you with anything, okay? I think, so the pattern that you see with borderline personality disorder is that they are very, very dependent on the people around them, but they're also very, very prone to, like, react very negatively to perceived slights, or, like, their emotions are very, very intense, basically. So they'd probably be very high on dependent. I don't know how probably also very high on anxiety. I don't know how the emotional instability would be shown. It might be captured by some of the PTSD questions, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. The Hedgehog Dilemma from my favorite cartoon, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Wait, no, you're right though. You're right. Like being high on Metal Sonic and Amy Rose is unironically the Hedgehog Dilemma. That's so funny. Oh no. Oh dear. Probably narcissistic. Yeah, maybe it would come through in narcissism as well. Yeah. I love the optic of Sonic memes for no reason at the minute. Sonic is great. We love a bit of Sonic. Like when people are sometimes like, were you a Pokemon autist child or a Sonic the Hedgehog autism child? I'm like, yes. The answer is yes. Oh dear. Okay. I feel like my face tracking looks weird today. Why? I don't know. Anyway. New starters for Pokemon have flooded my feed. Yeah, I keep seeing them too. They're very cute. They're very cute. I support the lizard. Lots of people very strongly love the lizard and also the dog with no thoughts. Head empty. There's not really much love for the bird, but I feel like we're getting a bit bored of like, because it's a grass type, right? I think we're all getting a bit bored of grass type bird. Like, come on. Come on. I remember on the MPI, they score a high 2468. I remember because my professor said 2468, what patients do we hate? Borderline. Oh, that's so rude. That's okay. That's a good mnemonic, but also it's horrible. Oh dear. People with BPD actually have so much stigma. It's really horrible. Like it's really, really bad. They're treated so badly by professionals. Like I've seen it happen too. Like I've seen people who had a borderline diagnosis and they should not have had a borderline diagnosis because they very obviously had something else going on. But once you've got a borderline diagnosis, well, in my opinion anyway, not as a professional, yeah, there's a lot of people who like got, like especially women who got misdiagnosed with borderline personality disorder when they actually are autistic. And I've seen many cases of this where someone got a BPD diagnosis and then a couple of years down the line when people started being more aware of how autism expresses itself in women, they went and got a new diagnosis that was autism that overrided the borderline personality disorder and suddenly everyone started treating them a lot better. So not great. Don't love that, to be honest. But yeah. Now I'm an adult and my third world country city has a lot of bad public transportation. I think I like a lot the idea of a train, so I guess I'm a train guy and not a dinosaur guy. That's so valid. I was also a train autist and a dinosaur autist. I was all of the above. Also a space autism. I liked collecting information about space. Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird to put PTSD and ADHD together with personality disorders. Yeah, I think this was just like random. Like, I think it was more just like, what are the characters kind of like coded as? And then just working it out from the, like, it's not focused on anything apart from the characters, you know? It's very high stress for everyone is the issue. I don't think the professor actually hated them, but they are a lot of work and far more likely to intrude on therapists' personal lives than most other diagnoses. Yeah, no, I know. But even then, I still wonder how much of that is like, what's the word? How much of it is like, so what can I say here? I'm going to put the Sonic away because this is kind of serious, actually. Yeah. So I once worked with a colleague when I was in the NHS who they were psychology aligned, so they were either a psychologist or a therapist. I won't go into details of which one they were, but they were working with a client who had a BPD diagnosis, and this client became very, very attached to them. And when the mandatory, like basically, if you're getting NHS therapy in the UK, so yeah, publicly funded therapy, you're normally limited to either 6 sessions or 12 sessions, just because, you know, there's other people that need to be seen too. So it got to the end of this person's 12 sessions and they were very, very attached, and they reacted very, very badly to the therapist ending the sessions, because sometimes people with borderline personality disorder do, like, sometimes they're not very good at feeling rejected or feeling like they're being abandoned. So this person reacted very, very badly, but then the way that they dealt with those emotions was then by stalking the therapist slash psychologist. So yeah, they started turning up to places where the therapist did various things. And this was like things that they kind of like worked out through a little bit of social media, and then like this therapist had been very careful about self-disclosures. But you know, there's always going to be like a couple of things. You know, they'll just kind of sometimes someone will just say in passing, like, oh yeah, you know, where do you like, you know, like there's like a small talk part when you either go into or come out of a session, right? So they might just be like, oh yeah, you know, what are you up to for the rest of the day? And then the client might be like, oh, I'm going to get a coffee with a friend. And then the therapist might be like, oh, what kind of cafes do you like going to? And then the client might say, oh, you know, this one and this one and this one. And then the therapist might be like, oh yeah, I've been to one of those, I quite like it, you know, just like casual chit chat, you know, casual small talk. But yeah, there had been like enough things where the client started like, or the former client at that point started lurking around places where the therapist had mentioned, and then they didn't leave them alone, and then they started following them, and it got quite bad, and the police had to get involved. So yes, it can be actually very, very difficult to manage certain clients, and when you're working in the field, you start to get an idea of like which diagnostic labels might be more inclined towards doing those kinds of behaviors. I think also, to be fair, sometimes this seems to be also a problem with autistic clients as well. So yeah, a little bit of overlap there. Yeah. And then like with other diagnostic labels, you'll see tendencies in the opposite direction. Like you'll find them really, really hard to engage. Ironically, like given what we've been talking a bit about, it's schizoid, really, really hard to engage in services. Yeah, like schizoid personality disorder, really hard to engage in services. They would rather just be struggling and not interact with you at all rather than get any kind of help. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. Yeah, with someone for 20 plus hours and something might slip. Yeah, exactly. Like it just happens. So yeah. And getting a coffee with a friend, you're the friend whether you like it or not. It's a little bit like that, to be honest. It's a little bit like that. Scary. Also, Illiterate Granny, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome into the research participation pool. Thank you. Welcome in. Yeah. Is there also private health insurance in the UK? Yes, there is. There is, but it's, I mean, I'd say that it's not super widely used, but I think it is pretty widely used now. Yeah, a lot of people have it now. Yeah. But yeah, personality disorders are really interesting, and it's interesting from a mental health standpoint, and it's also interesting from a kind of social psychology standpoint, because people do treat people differently once they've got a personality disorder label. And sometimes the label isn't actually entirely accurate. Sometimes, you know, clinicians are people. Sometimes they make mistakes. That's okay. Scientists also make mistakes. It doesn't mean that we're always making mistakes. We're normally pretty good at what we do, but it happens occasionally. So every now and then you might meet someone who might have the wrong diagnostic label, and they've been treated badly because of that diagnostic label. And, you know, it sucks. That's the summary of it. It sucks. Yeah. Yeah. I've had patients that want to go to my house and I tell them no. Thankfully, since I mostly deal with kids, they can't find me. Although there was the one patient who followed garbage trucks on his bike and who had seen my house, but I don't think he realized it was mine. Oh, yeah. But like, I know that I've had colleagues that like worked with teenagers, and yeah, that did start to then become a problem for the teenagers. Yeah. But yeah, I imagine with kids you're probably fine. How do you get healthcare if you're like a schizophrenic that's unable to work due to auditory hallucinations? That's a good question. So basically, so the way that it works in the UK, is that there's like a social welfare system that covers everybody. So yeah. So if somebody has a diagnosis of some kind of psychosis, then they could access like disability payments, basically, for lack of a better word. Like they can have state support, basically, for like their housing and stuff like that. And then the healthcare would be free. So private insurance is not mandatory in the UK. Most people do not have it, but NHS. So the NHS is like the public service, which is free, and that is kind of slow and takes a long time, and it's really painful to access. So that's why a lot of people are starting to go private instead now. But yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. A lot of my patients should have intellectual disability as well as autism, or instead of autism, but they got diagnosed differently to avoid the stigma. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure how helpful that is, to be honest, though. I'm not sure how helpful it is. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I feel like diagnoses shouldn't really have a stigma attached, because you can't really, like, overwhelmingly you can't help it. So, like, I know that there's a few exceptions to that rule, but like by and large it can't, like, things like that, it's like, you know, you're a product of your circumstances. So I don't know, it's very strange. Very strange. I don't like the stigma attached to things. I think people should just be able to get help and access things in the way that as they are, rather than us trying to work around systems. But unfortunately, systems are also made by people, and people are not perfect, so that's how it is. Hi Boyko, welcome in. Welcome in. And also hi Ty, thank you for the lab safety race check-in. Thank you. Covers everybody. Waiting times are like it does so at what? Waiting times are like it does so at the same time. I can't tell if I'm just not processing that correctly or if that's written weird. I'm sorry, Cleaver. 12 sessions wouldn't help that kind of thing, right? Yeah, but if someone's got like a really serious life impacting thing going on, then they might be able to access more than 12. Normally the 12 is the limit, but there are exceptions. So for example, if you have if you get diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, for example, you will get a maximum of 12, because that's not considered, like, you might be not living your best life potentially, but it's not like potentially life threatening, for example. Whereas if someone's got a condition where it's like life threatening, so for example like anorexia, or anorexia is probably the most obvious one, actually. Like anorexia unfortunately has a very, very high mortality rate. So you really need to be careful with people that are struggling with it. Yeah. And they often need very, very intensive support. So oftentimes what happens with people who are diagnosed with anorexia, they'll be put into an inpatient care unit because they need to be carefully monitored medically as well as mentally. And then once they're kind of up to a healthy weight again, then they'll be discharged, but then they'll have ongoing community support, and then they'll basically get support until the psychologist and psychiatrist determines that they're safe to go out into the world and not be at risk of relapse again. So yeah, everybody's waiting for an appointment at the same time. Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. And it's kind of got to the point where it's like you have to just take it, right? Like even if they give you an appointment at the most inconvenient time, you have to just take it. Like I have like a appointment at a very, very inconvenient time. I had to like basically cancel a work event. Like I was meant to be holding a work event and I had to cancel it so that I can go and have a long old medical procedure that's going to take up an entire morning. And I just had to, because that's how the system works, unfortunately. If I tried to change it, I wouldn't get another one for 6 months. So yeah. Oh well. I keep thinking I should probably get health insurance at some point, but it feels wrong, you know? I don't know. I can understand some degree of stigma because there are destructive behaviors that people with some diagnoses exhibit, but I also understand why it's a bad thing, because you can have to because you can cope well with it, and being stigmatized can make it harder. Yeah, exactly. It's like it happens because we are incredibly good at pattern recognition, and so we start to see, oh, this group of people have a higher tendency to, for example, do self-harming behaviors, for example. Like as clinicians, like you start to recognize those patterns, and like the literature obviously reflects it too. And that can be really, really difficult to work with, but yeah, it's not great that then they get treated differently on an assumption about the group. It's like fundamentally it's stereotyping. So yeah. They sent me 30 miles away with a student with no car or public transport links for mine. That's so obnoxious. I'm sorry. Unconditional positive regard of patients is important, or as the wise philosopher Ice-T once said, don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah, exactly. Spend those big VTuber bucks on private healthcare for yourself and Titan. What big VTuber bucks? I'm running at a net loss. my VTubing is at a net loss, Cleeper. Oh dear. Unrelated question. Do you happen to know something about how to treat dissociative identity disorder? No, I don't, Gorenge. I'm sorry. I know literally nothing about it. Yeah. I know nothing about it. I'm sorry. But yeah. Anyway, should we read the paper? We do have a paper that we're meant to be reading. Let me see. I go here. And then I go here. How expensive is private healthcare where you are? So the problem is not necessarily the private healthcare cost in itself. It's kind of, I think it kind of varies. I could get it from for 15 to 20. Probably. Like I think I found one that's like 20 to 25 euros ish a month, which isn't great, but it isn't terrible, you know? Like that's tolerable. That could fit into my budget fine. The problem is not that though. The problem is the way that it excludes pre-existing conditions. Yeah. Tree fitty finance. No, 25 euro per month. There's no tree fitty. There's no mention of this. But yeah, so I could fit that into my budget, but the problem is the exclusion of pre-existing conditions, because basically all of the things that I need to go to the doctor about and I can't get a GP appointment for are all things that I have been dealing with for a long time. So like, for example, my eczema, I need a referral to dermatology, but I couldn't get that on private because I already have it. So shrug. And then like the sinusitis also can't do that also because that's a pre-existing condition that I saw a doctor about once and they said come back in 3 months if you still have it, and then I didn't manage to make an appointment because I tried and couldn't get through. So it's quite frustrating. Everything's still kind of like gatekept by the GP. And if you can't get an appointment, then that's that. And then at the minute I'm just really busy. So if I call up my GP for an appointment, basically they book it 2 weeks from the day that you call up. So I have to like be aware of my calendar when I call up. If I call up on certain days, I just can't call them because I know in 2 weeks I'm like traveling or something. So yeah, it is what it is. Even the US doesn't allow discriminating against pre-existing conditions anymore. Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, I have quite a few. So yeah, but it's fine. Fine. Right. So if I go like this. Hello. I'm small now. And then I go like this. Yes. There we go. Here is the paper. You can't discriminate, but effectively you don't get any at all, whereas in the UK they do, but you get public. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, the private healthcare companies are like, we won't cover things that should be covered by the NHS, and if you've already gone to your GP about it, then it should be covered by the NHS. They also don't do like emergency care, so if you have like an emergency, you have to go to a state-run hospital. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. Smoldery, yes. It's me. I'm tiny Smoldery. I feel like, is it threatening if I like am more visible? Is that weird? Does that freak everybody out if I'm like more of the screen? It feels wrong. I feel like I feel wrong. Okay, this seems fine. This seems fine. I found a PhD by publication. It is a thing. It's also very rare and different thing from PhD by research. Basically for established researchers and industry people without a PhD. Yeah. PhD by publication. I mean, yeah. I mean, PhD by publication is like this. I think it's like the standard mode that they do it in like in Europe, to be fair. So yeah. I feel like exposed by showing the rest of me for some reason, so I'm actually just gonna stay like this. Okay, I'm sorry, I need to cough. Give me 1 second. If you get angry, do you become Smoldery? Yes, I do. I'm like... I always forget I can do that. Oh dear. My VTuber has elbows. I know, shocking. Shocking. See? Look, I have an elbow. Horrifying. Oh dear. That way. Okay. Right. So, where are we? We are reading the paper. I know. Limbs, the horror, I know. Can I re-rig some of your model? Yes? If you want to. I won't stop you. if that's what you want. Oh dear. Okay. It's gonna look so much better. Okay, you can if you want to. You can if you want to. You can if you want to. Don't do it now though. Don't do it now. Let me talk to you about it first. Okay. So. Okay. So. Where are we? Okay, so this is the paper. This is the paper. Yeah, not while I'm wearing it. Exactly. So this is the paper that we started reading last time. It is Speciesism, Generalized Prejudice, and Perceptions of Prejudiced Others by Jim, Everett, and colleagues. It's Pokemon Day. Have a fun stream. This is true. It is Pokemon Day. Thank you. Okay. So last time we read Study 1. So, Study 1, they compared perceptions of a target who was high or low on speciesism with a target who was high or low on racism. And they found that both were evaluated more negatively and expected to hold more prejudicial attitudes and ideologies, such as social dominance orientation, than people who were not prejudiced in either the racism or the speciesism way. That's the TLDR. Do you have any questions? Ask me what words mean if you need reminders. I need to cough again. I'm sorry. Wait, give me 1 second. Why am I suddenly coughing? What's going on? Okay, so right, now I've finished struggling. So speciesism, as a reminder, words, what do they mean? Words are units of communication, generally used in verbal or written formats. They are comprised of phonemes. Yes. Anyway, Anyway, so speciesism, as a reminder, speciesism refers to treating different species differently purely on the basis of their species membership. So, for example, dogs and pigs are relatively close in terms of their cognitive abilities, and they are also both mammals. However, dogs are kind of like socially constructed as being companion animals, they're pets, whereas pigs are farm animals and therefore we eat them. But that doesn't, like, the classification is kind of arbitrary, right? Like, there's no real meaning behind it. It's just that this one is this and this one is this because we've decided so at some point. So that would be an example of speciesism, is because we're treating pigs and dogs differently just on the basis of their species membership, even though there's no specific reason for it. As in, like, no underpinning logic really to it. Yeah. Writes down dog as a social construct. Exactly. Take notes. Take notes. Pigs are way scarier when they're angry. I don't know about that one, Chief. I feel like dogs are also pretty scary when they're angry. Maybe not like a chihuahua. Well, I mean, they're still kind of scary, but in a different way. But, like, have you ever seen like an angry Alsatian, for example? Those things, yikes, you know? I've seen an angry Alsatian. I've seen an angry pit bull. That's really yikes. Yeah. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Why is my music How long's my music been muted? I don't know how I did that. Anyway, I don't know about small dogs, but cat bites are nasty. They are. They're very nasty. Angry huskies are actual wolves. I've never seen an angry husky. I've only seen friendly huskies. Yeah. Nothing but a charging pig stops at nothing. This is true. This is true. But I would say the damage that they do and how persistent they are, I actually think is relatively similar even. Like, nothing also stops an angry pit bull, actually. Oh no. The Bully XL is on the loose in the Toby Carvery. That's a reference to something that I don't know if anyone's going to understand, actually. Never mind. Anyway, angry animals are scary. Yeah, angry animals are scary in general, I think. I have some stories about pig attacks that you can bug me about later. I'm not even surprised at this point, you know? Like, if there's a story that can be told, Bobo has the story. Oh dear. Okay, anyway, yes. So let's have a quick scroll down. So they're basically seeing whether speciesism, so that treating species differently for frankly no logical reason, is analogous in people's minds to racism. So we know that when people are racist, generally that's not very socially acceptable and people judge them badly for it, okay? Whereas, like, speciesism, what about that? We don't know. Would people treat them, like, would people evaluate people negatively if they say that pigs are inherently less worthy than dogs? That's the question that they're asking. So they're not asking how do people actually think about the animals. They're asking how do people think about someone's opinions about animals in that speciesist way. Yes. So, we scroll. Okay. So, they did this first study that we read last time, and they recruited 301 participants from Amazon Mechanical Turk, which is an online recruitment service, which was pretty good when they used it. It's variable now. I would say the quality of the data that you get from MTurk now is variable. And they did this experiment where they so there were 4 groups. One group saw fake survey results from somebody expressing high levels of speciesism. Another group saw people seeing survey results expressing a high level of racism. The third group saw fake survey results showing a low level of speciesism, and the fourth group saw survey results showing low levels of racism. So they were doing that 2x2 design. If you remember, we talked about that last time. So there's like 2 conditions and then another 2 conditions, and then you kind of cross-reference them, and then you end up with 4 cells. Yes, if you can make a table, you can visualize it, but I don't want to. And then they looked at whether that impacted how people evaluated them in terms of a whole bunch of outcomes, including how moral they thought they were, how they're kind of like, here we are, how reliable they were, how warm they are, how competent they are, etc., etc. And they found, in general, that people evaluated the speciesist in the same way that they evaluated the racist. So that means that people who express any kind of prejudice, regardless of what the prejudice was, were evaluated as like less moral, less warm, etc. They were kind of just socially shunned, basically. Yes. How is the cohort comprised? What do you mean? What comprised in what sense? It was. Hang on. There's a participant section. Let's see. So it was majority white Americans, I assume. They haven't said that it was Americans, but I assume it was Americans because most people in MTurk are Americans. Yes. And then the participants scored relatively low on both speciesism and racism, and they also leaned slightly liberal in terms of their political ideology. Yes, yes. So I would argue there is a potential for a little bit of bias going on there. I also don't entirely believe like people's self-ratings on speciesism, because people will always be like, oh yes, I treat all animals equally, and then they proceed to eat pigs and not eat dogs. So I don't think that like a self-rating measure of speciesism is ever a very good measure, because I think people are just very like unaware, like they don't really realize it. So yeah. Yeah. Is the political lean self-reported? Yes. Yes. It was self-reported. Yeah. Hello, I'm Dragon, and Tanai Fish. Hello, hello. Thank you for the lab safety registered check-ins. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Hang on, I'm scrolling. I'm catching up. Give me a second. Didn't we finish this paper? No, we only read 1 study out of the 3. In my defense, my local grocery store doesn't carry dog. Yeah, but that's like a reflective of societal trends, right? So yeah. The Pikmin song got stuck in my head last week and it reminded me to finish last Sunday's VOD. It's a menace. Success. You're welcome. Pikmin in your grey matter. Oh dear. But yes, that was the first study. So it was pretty much showing what they were expecting. And I think they did they do an ANCOVA that included politics? Oh, okay, yeah, they did an ANCOVA that controlled for participants' own level of prejudice. But they didn't show the results of that. But
Lisa
oh no, sorry,
smile.
they said it was identical. So the results were the same even when they statistically separated out people's own prejudice levels. So yeah. So given all of that, we're on to the second paper, which is very cool and very, very interesting. The second study even. Yes. Hi Gonza, hello, hello, thank you so much for the sub. What the heck? Thank you so much for the 2 months. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Yippee. Okay, so there's about to be an ad. So what I'm thinking is, given that we've had a mention of the Pikmin song, I think it's time for Pikmin song. I'm gonna go and like cough very aggressively and see if I can get rid of the tickling in my throat that's making me feel like I need to cough. And then I will see you back here in a few minutes. And I will also hydrate. Thank you, Cherry, Cherry, Cherry. Yes, yes. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy your Pikmin. See you in a few minutes. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and hey Pikmin, new centrifuge to put pigment in. Pigment in your membrane, that's called pigment blot. Old pigment theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum pigment. Pigment chest tube, pigment balloon mount, radio sonde. Pigment electrons, covalent bond. Pigment AI, published IEEE. Slowed down pigment due to relativity. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pigment in your fucking culture. Pigment 1 and 2 and Pigment 3. Pigment you play control for the Wii. Pigment 4 and 5, Pigment 6, Pigment 7, Pigment 18 million and 11. Pigment 3 deluxe and hey Pigment. New centrifuge to put pigment in. Pigment in your membrane, that's called pigment blot. Old pigment theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum pigment. Pigment chest tube, pigment balloon mount, radio sonde. Pigment electrons, covalent bond. Pigment AI, published IEEE. Slowed down pigment due to relativity. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pigment in your fucking culture. Pigment 1 and 2 and Pigment 3. Pigment you play control for the Wii. Pigment 4 and 5, Pigment 6, Pigment 7, Pigment 18 million and 11. Pigment 3 deluxe and hey Pigment. New centrifuge to put pigment in. Pigment in your membrane, that's called pigment blot. Old pigment theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum pigment. Pigment chest tube, pigment balloon mount, radio sonde. Pigment electrons, covalent bond. Pigment AI, published IEEE. Slowed down pigment due to relativity. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pigment in your fucking culture. Pigment 1 and 2 and Pigment 3. Pigment you play control for the Wii. Pigment 4 and 5, Pigment 6, Pigment 7, Pigment 18 million and 11. Pigment 3 deluxe and hey Pigment. New centrifuge to put pigment in. Pigment in your membrane, that's called pigment blot. Old pigment theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum pigment. Pigment chest tube, pigment balloon mount, radio sonde. Pigment electrons, covalent bond. Pigment AI, published IEEE. Slowed down pigment due to relativity. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pigment in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Hi. I'm back. Okay. What the heck? Tonight Fish, thank you so much for the 6 months. What the heck? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you everybody for the hype train as well. That's exciting. Very hypey, one could say. So much hype. So much hype. Hi Nat, say hi. Hello. Welcome in. You're not Marceline today. I know, right? Wild. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. What the heck? Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And Ty, thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I do actually have another model that I do use it quite a lot, but recently I've been feeling more like a silly little Adventure Time creature. But I have a slightly more magical girl-esque model, but yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been feeling like it recently. And then I go through periods of time where I just want to use this one all the time. And then I go back to the Adventure Time one for a really long time. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. My son. My son. Yes. Having options is nice. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so study 2. Okay, so we've gone over the previous one again. We've done a recap. Time to now think about the actual rest of the paper. Okay, so study 2. So in study 2, we wanted to replicate the findings of study 1 with racism again. So remember, they're comparing how people respond to people who are speciesist, which is prejudice between species depending on just their species membership and nothing else, versus human to human prejudices such as racism and sexism and homophobia and stuff like that. Okay, so in study 2, we wanted to replicate the findings of study 1 with racism, and then A, extend them to a different type of traditional prejudice, while B, adding in some new dependent measures, and C, collecting more demographic information about the participants to look at in analyses, all while D, taking the opportunity to pre-register our design, analyses, and hypotheses to further enhance the confidence in our findings. These are all good improvements, because these are some of the big things that I had issues with. Really, mostly the kind of replicating it and then kind of seeing if it's a generalized effect. That's normally a good next step to do in any kind of research. But then also having done the exploratory study in study 1 and then pre-registering it, which means that they're kind of declaring in advance what they think is going to happen. That's a really, really good way to prevent against false positives. So very, very good steps, I think. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit worried about adding in new dependent measures, because it feels like there was quite a lot of them already. And the more you add in, the more likely you are to find a false positive. So I am hoping and praying that they adjust their p-values this time. That would be good. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Overall, I think this makes sense. This is a good next step. Yes. I had to mention to you, I'm considering taking data on the differences in your giggle rate between models. If that's all right, go for it. That's something that I would be actually very interested in. That's because I don't know if I present differently when I'm using different models. That would be super interesting. Actually, no, I'm really interested now. But then maybe we should get a third one. Maybe I could get another one and we could compare it further. Hi, John Finger. Oh my god, it's the John Finger. Wow. Welcome in, John Finger. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome into the research participation pool. Being asked to replicate racism is definitely a hard sell. It's for science. It's for science. It's for science. We're not replicating racism. It's fine. We're replicating an evaluation of how people respond to someone who is racist, which is arguably not really that much better, actually, in some ways. But, you know, it's a bit better. It's a bit better. You definitely laughed like 20, 30 times a minute in the last stream I was in with Marcelly and Dare. Yeah. I think also I was in a good mood, though, I think, with that stream. I was in a good mood. Today, I'm not in a good mood. Today, I'm grumpy. Because I have family and friends that I care about who are impacted by certain world events that have been happening, and now I'm gonna do my checking behavior. Let's see. Okay, there's some new updates, but it's not affecting the places where my loved ones are, so this is fine. Well, it's not fine, it's not good, but you know, yeah. Yeah. So I'm a bit less excitable today. I'm not in yeah, I'm not in the best mood, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're doing fine. Anyway, we love the Adventure Time model, but this one is very dear to us. It's really it's very dear to you. You know what you've done. You know what you've done. I wonder if this is going to turn off. Anyway, it's kind of getting in the way of the paper, but that sounds like it's a you problem. Oh dear. My goals to get you to 40 laughs a minute. We can do it. We can do it for science. Oh dear. Yes, it's here. Hello everybody. It's me. I'm Psydere. Anyway. It doesn't seem to be turning off. Remind me if I haven't turned off the antlers actually, and after a while. I don't want these on actually. Anyway, so as you can see, approximately around here, these are the things. Oh, there we go. They turned off. Okay. These are the things that they were that they're doing with the study too. Is that they are replicating and extending, which is a pretty standard thing to be doing. And it's a good thing to be doing. Science is iterative, and if you can kind of like nudge, like make little dents in the lack of knowledge around your hypotheses, then this is very good. And all of the information adds up. Yes. I can't gift a sub to for science. I guess they already have one. I wonder if they just don't exist. Maybe they just don't exist. There is no science on twitch.tv. That's it. We're done. We're done. Oh dear. I don't want these proceeds to point with them. Well, if I've got them, I might as well use them, you know? Like, the antlers need to be useful for something. It doesn't even make sense for me to have antlers. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, moving on. Okay, paper. So first we wanted to replicate and extend our findings to a different type of prejudice. Sexism. Sexism. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Flatulence Incarnate gifted a tier 1 sub to Fortunes per proposes. They have given 27 gift subs in the channel.
Sean really made an attempt with that one, didn't he? For censure purposes. Okay, buddy. Thank you, Flatulence Incarnate, for the gift sub to for science purposes. Thank you. Oh dear. Why do you have them then? I didn't put them on the model. Mylin did. They were bullying me. No, it was actually I think it was Husmod's idea to put the deer antlers on the model. They're not antlers, they're dendrites. I like that. I might steal that. You can excuse sexism, but antlers? I can't excuse sexism. Sexism, not great. Don't do that, actually. Not a fan. As a woman. As a woman, not a fan of sexism, actually. But they're looking at sexism in study too. So, yeah. You didn't say this about racism. I did! I said I'm also not a fan of racism, actually. I'm not a fan of any of the isms or the phobias. I'm not a fan of any of them. I'm gonna end up on the woke VTuber list for saying that. This is terrible. Anyway, I don't want to be on the spreadsheet. They haven't found me yet, and I'm fine for now. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find me. Anyway, if I was making the model, I would bargain to have a personal remote for them. I wonder if Ori could do that. I bet Ori could do that. Anyway, so you're saying that you don't want a copy of the pop-up book of phobias? No, I actually don't. That's taking jump scare to a whole new level, actually. Optimism, I'm just being smart. I like optimism. Hi, Sias. Hello. Thank you for the lab safety race to check in. Welcome in. Shouldn't be that hard to do. It probably isn't. I think it would involve like connecting something to the what's the word? The VTube Studio API. So it's definitely easy to, yeah, it's probably just a simple API call. Yeah, I mean, that's how like the chat thing works, right? Is it even working? Wait. Is it even working? Oh, it is working. Okay. There was no need for me to test it. Okay, it does work. Yeah, so that's just like an API call. So I'm sure that the same thing could be done with some kind of sensor or button or something. I don't know. You did this to yourself. I know. I don't know why I did it to myself. Thank you for the lab safety roaster checking in outside. Thank you. What's the paper? The paper is, let me scroll up. Whee! That was rapid. This is the paper. This one here. I'm gesturing with my antlers. It's also in the pinned comment. Yes, it is also in the pinned comment. But yes, Speciesism, Generalized Prejudice, and Perceptions of Prejudice Others by Jim Everett and colleagues. It was published in 2019 in the journal Group Processes and Intergroup Relations, which is a very good journal in social psychology. It's one of the ones that I would like to be published in one day. But I am not published in it yet. Maybe one day. Anyway, study 2. So they're replicating their prior study, but also sexism. Okay. And then they're also pre-registering, which is very good. And then also they are collecting more demographic information because some of it went missing, which is fair enough. These things happen. And they're adding in new dependent measures as well, which hopefully they're either taking some of them out or they're also maybe adjusting their p-values because I feel like many of the things that they're looking at, there's a chance that they're probably correlated, and I'm not a fan of multiple comparisons. So, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's read. Okay. Psydere not work as part of a message or only standalone? That's pretty lame. I don't know. I've never tested it. I even if it was tested, I don't know how to change it. So I think it's only when it's standalone potentially. Wait, hang on. Let me have a quick look actually. Let's see. Right. Settings. Hotkey. Expressions. Wand. Outfit. Oh. Thank you for demonstrating. Where is it? Head pats. I've got too many. Okay. Right, there you are. Okay. How do I do this? Let's see. Set or unset expression. Expression is that. Right, how do I go like this? Active trigger. You can set up to multiple triggers. Okay, no, I think it's only if someone says it like just standalone. But you know, that's fine. It is what it is. Yeah, only standalone. It doesn't look like you can change it. There's no like wildcards thing in there, so yeah. I'll look into it after stream, but I don't think there's a way for me to change that. Oh well. Shower thought, if I pay for an advertisement in an academic paper, I could then say I've been published. I mean, that might be a bit expensive. I think about these things sometimes. My dictating philosophy for anything to do with VTubing is it funny? That's my dictating philosophy. And if it's funny, then I'm probably going to do it. And I feel like getting a paper published is actually quite funny. And I also feel like getting an advert published is also quite funny. So therefore, I think you should do it. I'm an enabler. Hi, Baron Gamer. Hello. Thank you for the lab safety race to check in. I hope you're good. Do I feel like I'm being smart today? I've got my glasses. Look at me. I'm studying. Oh dear. I know what I'm researching today. Yeah. So that's why I'm allowed to live in this chat for a bit. I do not hate that. It might accept a reject or wildcards even if it doesn't explicitly say it, but probably not. I'll have a look. I'll have a look after stream. I can't be bothered to dig into the what do you call it? The documentation for it right now. I always forget that I have like loads of toggles that I don't use. I do. I think I use them for comedic effect, but I don't use them enough, really. Anyway, so where are we? We are here. We are here. Okay, yes. So, right. So, first, we wanted to replicate and extend our findings to a different type of prejudice, specifically sexism. Sexism is a prototypical type of prejudice as studied in social psychology, and recent work by Sanchez and colleagues in 2017, it's not so recent anymore, that's like almost 10 years now, that's a horrifying thought, has shown that people who perceive prejudice transfer, has shown that people do perceive prejudice transfer between sexism and racism. So I'm guessing they mean people that are racist are expected to also be sexist. Racism threatens white women and sexism threatens men of color. Yes. So basically people, if you, like, when people are racist, women feel like they're at risk from this person of discrimination. This makes sense. Critically, for our purposes, the perceived relationship between a target's sexism and speciesism remains unknown, although there is good reasons to assume that there would be a perceived prejudice transfer. A purported link between sexism and speciesism is often drawn by feminist thinkers and animal rights advocates, such as Carol Adams. That's the first citation. Carol Adams has written a very well-known book about this. And meat eating is often tied to masculinity. Indeed, in previous work, we have found that, like with racism, significant correlations between participant sexism and speciesism. Based on this previous work, because that was actually looking at people's attitudes, I assume. Let's have a look at the title. Yes, it looks like that was actually looking at people's attitudes. So there was actually a correlation between level of sexism and level of speciesism. Based on this previous work, we expected that a racist and a sexist would be perceived similarly, and based on our prior results, we expected that a speciesist would also be seen similarly to both a racist and a sexist. I feel like this is a really long-winded way of saying something. They're basically saying they think that people will be evaluated negatively if they are racist and or sexist and or speciesist. All of them are kind of expected to link together. Second, we want to add 2 new dependent measures. We wanted to see whether participants would infer higher social dominance orientation from a speciesist target like they do for a racist or sexist target. So as a reminder, social dominance orientation is a personality trait that reflects how much someone prefers for there to be hierarchy between social groups and for specifically their group to be at the top of the hierarchy. So according to the SD harm model, it is social dominance orientation that underlies both the endorsement of hierarchies between different human groups and also the endorsement of human hierarchy over animals. And we were interested in whether participants would intuit this. Similarly, we were interested in participants' expectations of the gender of the target. Previous work has suggested that men tend to be higher on social dominance orientation and are more likely to report explicit prejudice, as well as being more speciesist. Again, we were interested in whether participants would intuit this and assume a speciesist to be more likely to be male. Third, we wanted to collect more demographic information from participants, such as their age, gender, and political party, allowing us to see both whether the results were robust to controlling for these demographic variables, and also whether there would be an interaction of a political affiliation with the experimental conditions. Would more conservative Republican identifying participants perceive similarly a speciesist, sexist, or racist in the same way that a more liberal Democrat identifying participant would? Okay. This all makes sense, I think. Is there anything there that we need explained? Because I feel like this is fairly straightforward. I do feel like the only thing that they're doing is like, some of the things that they're saying is quite wordy. So, like, for example, like, I don't know, like, explaining, like, giving a very, very long description of, like, we think that this will be similarly to this, and then also on top of this, this will be also perceived similarly to thing 1 and thing 2. I feel like this is a bit wordy. So what they're saying in short is that they are testing whether people evaluate racists and sexists and speciesists negatively compared to people who are not prejudiced. That's basically what they're saying. And they're seeing whether the levels of evaluation, as in like how positively or negatively they look at this person, is different or similar across racism, sexism, and speciesism. So if someone says bad things about different racial groups, they're probably going to be evaluated negatively. That's what tends to happen. We don't like it when people do that. Does the same thing happen for animals? And if yes, how similarly? How similarly are they evaluated? Are people that say bad things about different types of animals, are they likewise perceived negatively? Yes. That is the summary of it. I feel like I've just said it equally complicated. I don't know. It makes sense to me, but I know many things about this thing allegedly, so you know, yeah. Shower thought Minecraft SMP storyline with Psydere and Myelin researching a conspiracy between the villagers about the existence of an underground Greg's network. Now I want Greg's. Now I want Greg's. I find it odd because most humans are somewhat speciesist, so it's way more common than sexism. Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know if it's more common necessarily, because I just don't know. I don't know the numbers on it, but I do agree that speciesism is super, super common, and I feel like that's something that's not really been adjusted for in these experiments. Like, I don't know. It seems to be kind of missing that aspect of it. There's like a floor effect, I guess. Or no, ceiling effect. Wait. Ceiling effect, because most people are high in speciesism whether they realize it or not, because that's just how they act. But then there seems to be a floor effect in the way that they're evaluating themselves on speciesism measures, which suggests that people are very, very unaware, which matches up with, there's like a theory of like basically like people eat animals because they basically just don't think about it, if that makes sense. Like, it's normalized and then people don't question it, and when they actually do question it, then they feel really bad about it. That's like one of the kind of predominant theories on why people eat meat. So yeah, that kind of matches up with that in a weird way. Curious if there's a measurable difference between expectation of bigotry if they are bigoted and expectation of bigotry if they're just mean. Ooh, interesting. I don't know. Bigots are bigots, but sciencey. That is unironically kind of the paper, I'm not gonna lie. But sometimes you need research that says the obvious, right? Sometimes you need it. I would love to know their specific definition on what is speciesist. They basically have defined it based on a measure. So if I find the measure real quick, speciesism scale, the moral standing of animals. This has obviously been published by now. Let me find it. Right. DOI not found. What? Oh, because there's a gap there. That shouldn't be there. There we go. Okay. Oh no, it's closed access and it's in an APA journal. Ah, that's the worst type. Okay. That's the worst type. How do I see what their scale is then? Oh, they have all of their materials available. Hang on. I remember now. Zoom. Right. Where is that first study? Where's the open science bit? There it is. Okay. There. Okay. We're gonna find this. Okay. Correlations, data, survey PDF. There we go. Okay. Right. Prejudice. Let's see. Okay. I have found it. Right. Let me put this away for a second, and then I will bring this up. So this is the scale that they're using of speciesism. So humans have the right to use animals however they want to. Morally, animals always count for less than humans. Chimpanzees should have basic legal rights such as the right to life or a prohibition of torture. It's morally acceptable to keep animals in circuses for human entertainment. It's morally acceptable to trade animals like possessions. It's morally acceptable to perform medical experiments on animals that we would not perform on any human. And then it moves on to the racism scale. So they're framing speciesism very, very explicitly in terms of like human dominance over animals, which is interesting because that is part of speciesism, but that's not the whole of speciesism. So that's very, very interesting. And I think that definitely has an impact on how we look at the results, actually. But the thing that the thing that I find really interesting about that is that, like, again, people are often very oblivious of how they are, how they actually act in relation to how they think. So most people would agree, like, yeah, it is wrong for you to abuse animals effectively. Like, it's wrong for you to do harmful procedures on them. Like, most people don't like that. Most people don't want that. But that doesn't translate into their day-to-day behavior. And I feel like that scale kind of misses that aspect of it. Like, it misses the kind of like widespread issues in relation to speciesism in favor of the kind of like it's very specifically like it's interesting that they very specifically did not see, like, unless I'm, hang on, let me just read that very quickly again. Circuses, trading, animal experiments. Yeah, so they very explicitly did not mention food, which is really interesting that in a speciesism scale they haven't mentioned eating animals. That seems like a bit of a, that in itself seems like it could be a bit of a confound. But maybe they didn't want to tap into that behavior. I don't know. I would have to like look at the original study to be able to understand a bit more what they're doing. Yeah, hang on, let me catch up on chat. They don't see things like eating an animal or killing them for food as abuse, which can be seen as speciesist. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's very, very missing. Yeah. Food is the thing. Yeah, right? Right? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. That's a questionable methodological decision, I think. But that also would explain why their rating, like the self-report of speciesism on the speciesism scale, was so low. Because if you ask most people, do you think that you can use an animal however you want? If you think that, do you think that it's fine to trade animals like possessions? Overwhelmingly, people will say no, right? Because they don't want animals to be harmed, and they don't stop and think about the way that actually animals are being harmed in their day-to-day activities. Yeah. Too direct. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, nobody's going to agree with that. Whereas like the racism scale is actually a little bit more, it's a little bit more subtle. So for example, it says discrimination against Black people is no longer a problem in the US. So that's like I think that's like the modern racism scale, if I remember correctly. So it's like, it's less around like explicitly like, I think they are inferior, and more like they've already got equality, so therefore this isn't a problem anymore and they should shut up. That's more what it captures as an essence. Which is interesting that they're so different. It's interesting that they've taken such different scales. But it's also worth noting that the speciesism scale that they're using was developed by one of the authors. Like, one of the authors is a lead author on the scale, so that might be part of the reasoning. Oh dear. It's also interesting because of all of the isms, species is one that is actually rooted in a degree of biology that the majority of humanity would agree is warranted because it's not between humans. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why I feel like it would have been much more interesting if they'd actually looked at like treatment of different types of animals instead. So if someone says, for example, like, yeah, I think it's actually fine for us to eat all animals. In fact, it's fine for us to eat pigs, and it's also fine for us to eat dogs. If someone says that, then that is actually not very speciesist. Like, it's kind of equally speciesist. Like, it's not speciesist, but it is in favor of subjugating animals and like using animals and eating animals. So like, it's kind of separating out these two aspects, right? Yeah. Yeah. The author developed the scale, insert the meme of awarding yourself the medal. True. They definitely could have gone a lot of places with their research that they didn't. Yeah, I think, to be fair, this paper is from 2019, and the field has moved on a fair bit since then. But it's also, like I said, it feels like it does feel like a pretty big missing aspect of it. Also, hello Tristira, hello, thank you for the lab safety race to check in. And also, hi Jedi Cyberpunk, I'm sorry I didn't see it. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for the lab safety race to check in as well. Good morning, how goes? It's going That's the end of the sentence. It's going. How are you? I hope you're doing all right. It's fine to eat all animals, stares at the guy across the bus while thinking he's an animal. Yes, and we do not endorse cannibalism on this stream, actually, though. That's not ideal. Yeah. Hi, Yaramas. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for the lab safety register check-in. Hi. I would like to make it clear that I do not, in fact, endorse cannibalism, okay? I do not endorse cannibalism. Let's see. Racists are expected to be sexist, but also are they also expected to be speciesist? Yes, that's a very good summary of what this research is looking into, Torgamus. Yes, yes. Okay. Elephants should be allowed to vote. Okay. Hi, Lankuri. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Yes, Psydere real. I am, in fact, somewhat real. Can you believe it? Okay. I think I've caught up. Right, cool. I'm at a bread and breakfast about 600 miles from home visiting family at the moment, so it goes interestingly. Ooh, fun? Question mark? I hope you're enjoying your trip. I hope you're enjoying it. Yes, yes. Sleepy, just woke up. I'm also sleepy. I've been like slowly working through a cup of tea and it's not really doing much for me. I'm also like, do you know what I mean when I say like, I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry enough for food. And I'm kind of like I can't quite tell whether I'm hungry or if I feel sick. That. I've been having that all day. I did have breakfast actually, but yeah. Not speciesist in the same way as I'm not racist. I make jokes about everybody. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So if someone's like, I mean, you do meet people that are like, yeah, I think that all animals are edible. I would totally try kangaroo. I would totally try anything actually, really. I mean, Australians do actually eat kangaroo, I think, sometimes, but yeah. Not hungry enough to bother going to the kitchen. Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, like my flat is pretty small, so like I'm pretty much in the kitchen right now. Like I can like it's one room, so I can see my kitchen in full glory, in full HD. Even without my glasses on, I can see all of it. So yeah, I don't know. Ow, I meant to do that. Yes. I've had kangaroo, it tastes like dry pork. Interesting. I don't know what pork tastes like, actually. This means nothing to me. Hi, Retty! Hi, welcome in. How are you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. I do believe all animals are equal, but I eat chicken. I just view it as a betrayal I've made. That's so valid. That's so valid. I would totally try consenting human. Please don't, actually, because you can get prion disease from that. Please don't do that. Kangaroo falls into the same general area as probably venison in places with deer populations. I guess so, yeah. But then I don't want to eat a deer. I'm personally not a fan of eating deer, actually. That seems mildly concerning, actually. Oh dear. Yeah. Kangaroo is apparently tough. Tasting History had a recent video on the history of kangaroo meat. It's tough, gamey, and has to be cooked in a certain way. That doesn't sound pleasant, to be honest. It doesn't sound pleasant. Thank you for the 40 stream streak. Tristira, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm okay with eating meat, but I've made my peace with not philosophically condemning vampires. Yeah. I mean, vampires can't help it, you know. Vampires can't help it. Tastes like prion disease. Yeah, it's ultra high Vidox high. Yeah, it's not ideal. Please don't eat human. You will get prion disease, and it's a horrible way to go. It's terrifying. It's actually scary. It's really scary. Go and watch Fi's video on it. Wait. It's gonna work. Wait. Yeah. Go and watch Fi the Neutrophil's video on prion disease. It's horrifying. I don't like it. I don't like it. Just Google big red kangaroo, look at the images, and you'll know why it's gamey and a bit tough. Yeah, no, I know what kangaroos look like. I know. People keep thinking I'm Australian, and I don't know why. I don't think that I sound Australian at all, but apparently people keep thinking it, so yeah. Issue with vampires isn't the drinking blood, it's the killing people to do it. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're gonna be a vampire and then you do like night shifts as a nurse, and then you kind of just take a little sneaky bit out of the blood bank every now and then, like, there's no harm there. Oh dear. Wouldn't the eaten person already have to suffer from prion disease for you to get it? I don't know. I don't know the specifics of it. I'm not a brain scientist. I'm a behavior person. I'm not even really a behavior person. I'm a attitudes person. Psydere says to steal blood donations. No, only if you're a vampire. It's the most ethical way to do it. I'd eat deer, but in my region, we humans have removed all of their predators, so people just got to pick up the slack. Oh. Anyway, I probably had venison when I was a meat eater. I think I did have it once. I probably had that at some point. I don't remember. I don't know. Anyway. You don't sound Australian, you sound like Rin Penrose. I do not sound like Rin Penrose. Can we stop this? I do not sound like Rin Penrose. Please. Stop it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but you're not gonna like what I do. Oh dear. Oh dear. Why did you go to steal blood from the hospital and not get into a polyamorous arrangement with people into blood kink? What? Without context, Cleeper, this message is very confusing. Anyway, you do kind of sound like her now that you mention it, especially when you're baffled. No. I thought that we've had enough of the Rin Penrose. Oh god. I thought it was gonna stop. I thought you didn't sound like Rin Penrose, but I've been binging Rin recently and now I hear it. Oh. Ooh. I'll have you know that I don't think I sound anything like Rin Penrose, okay? I do not sound anything like Rin Penrose. We all need to stop this because I'm gonna get angry, and then you won't like me when I'm angry because I'll start whipping out my horns, and then I will damage you. I will poke you with my horns, and then you will start bleeding, and then a vampire will descend and they will drink your blood. Okay, that's gonna be what's happening. And then and then you'll be sorry. Then you'll be sorry. Oh dear. Anyway. Oh dear, oh dear. Hi Harriet, welcome in. Will she make a PowerPoint about how she isn't Rin Penrose, which is something Rin Penrose would absolutely never do? Okay, if you bear with me for 1 second, I'm gonna bring up a piece of stream history. I'll do it for you. We will go back to this small piece of stream history from my 2.0 model debut, okay? Was it from that? I think it was from that. It was from a while ago. Is it this one? Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure it was from this. Okay, I'm checking. Okay. Oh no, it wasn't from this. God, was it earlier than that? Oh my goodness. Well, how far back do we have to go? Okay. Streaming anniversary from a... okay, let's see if it was this one. I have many presentations, actually. Right. This is a charity stream. When is this one from? January last year. Okay. 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 Yes. So, okay. So this was from January 2025. Okay. We're going to put this away and I'm going to show you this. Oh, that's not good sizing. Okay. Let me try this again. Hang on. Right. I'm going to go this. I'm going to go window capture. Presentation. Okay. Like that. I'm gonna go this. Right, okay. That. And then this comes back here. This is gonna be massive. Okay. Right. This was from, we did a charity stream and also celebrating my PhD submission a very long time ago. It was in it was a year ago, over a year ago. It was in January 2025. Yes. Okay. So, this was a presentation that I gave a long time ago. And you were 12 then? I was not 12. Okay, unironically, PSA, never joke about anyone being under the age of 13 on twitch.tv because it will get you banned. Unironically, it actually can get you banned. Do not joke about that. Also, hi, my wacky brain. Hi. Hello. Welcome in. How are you doing? I hope you're good. Okay, so this is a presentation that I gave in January 2025, over a year ago. It was because I took a big old break from streaming to submit my PhD thesis, and then I came back with this absolute banger of a presentation. I need to address an issue that has been plaguing me throughout, like before it is normal, you know? Before it is like people, like things that we did throughout the, oh yeah, that's my first ever model, by the way. That's how I used to look when I first started streaming. But yeah, and then stuff that we did throughout that year. So cute, so nice. And then a bunch of thank yous that I gave. And then I got to this bit, which was I need to address an issue that has been plaguing me throughout 2024. Please make it stop. I'm in pain. I am not Rin Penrose. Firstly, Sainsbury's is better than Tesco's. The food doesn't go off after 2 days. It's got better vegan options. It's the second biggest in the UK, but not the second best. Horse meat scandal, never heard of her. And sometimes it has an Argos in it, which is useful. And then I was like, why is Rin following me? Why? I was here first. Get out. Get off my island. And then I'm not Rin Penrose, actually. This is statistically significant at the 0.05 level. Your conspiracy theories will not change it. I do not care that she started making clips where she was referencing, haha, maybe one day I'll move to Ireland, or I've been to Ireland, or look, it's the Dublin Spire. Haha, nobody likes the Dublin Spire, by the way. This is evidence that Rin Penrose was actually copying me. I had the audacity to say this when nobody knew who I was. And then I challenged Rin to a fight in a super value car park. She's never taken me up on the offer, by the way. She's never taken me up on the offer. I've never had the fight with Rin Penrose in the super value car park, clearly because she's scared of me. Who wouldn't be? I'm vicious and I've got a weapon. Anyway. Yeah, that was a thing. Why is there a timer on my screen? Anyway. Yeah. Oh. My wand button also turns on a timer. Interesting. That is a thing that I have learned. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. What about the manager v manager fight? Still never happened. I think it should happen. I think that we all need to have this mahjong tournament between Titan and Zoe. It still hasn't happened. It may never happen, but maybe I could make it happen one day, you know? I would like to make it happen. I think it would be fun. to see. Like a manager tournament in general, I think would be really fun. You know, if we could get all of the VTuber managers into a tournament, a mahjong tournament. Oh dear. But yes, TLDR, I'm not Rin Penrose actually. Please stop accusing me. Yeah. At the timer, did we start an impromptu subathon? I hope not. I'd like to stop streaming at some point today. I want to go and eat some pasta. Oh dear. I love mahjong. I've tried mahjong a couple of times. Titan taught me how to do mahjong, and I feel like I wasn't very good at it. So yeah. Rint. Yeah, exactly. Rint. Thank you for the hydrate, Cogs, right? I will hydrate. And also, hello, Kami and Ikatono. Hello, welcome in. I hope you're good. Oh dear. Not having a noted emote in this chat is a bit weird. It would get good value. We have a noted emote. See? We have one. We have one. I've tried mahjong through Yakuza and enjoyed it more than I expected. I have to pay to take notes. Yeah, I mean, you have to pay your tuition fees, obviously. I should play Yakuza at some point. I should play that. I have like a list of games that I really want to play. Yeah. Yeah. It's not animated. Look, I don't have the skills to animate my emotes very much, okay? Like, the only animated ones are ones where I could do a very, very simple layer-based animation that didn't require me thinking too hard, basically. That's why there's like 3 animated ones and then the rest of them are not, is because I just simply do not have the skills. And I could commission animated emotes, but that would involve spending money and I'm already at a net loss. So, yeah, I don't want to. Anyway, that being said, I was actually talking to one of my friends about potentially making some emotes. I should get back to them about that. Anyway, so study 2, method. Open, wait, is this the right, are we on study 2? Is this the right section? Yes, okay, cool. Study 2. Open science. As for all studies in this paper, we report all measures, manipulations, and exclusions, and all data, analysis code, experimental material, and supplementary results are available for download on OSF. Go check out OSF if you haven't already. Lots of scientists upload their things there, and it's very useful and cool, actually. Hello, Yagrafres. Yeah, Yagrafes. There we go. I hope I've said that right. Yagrafes. Please tell me, what is your preference? Is it a J or a Y sound? Anyway, welcome into the research participation pool. Thank you for following. And hi, Cami Belladonna. Hi. How are you doing? I hope you're good. Enjoy your lurk. I'm assuming you're working. I hope it goes well. Okay, I need to cough. Give me a second. The bot got fixed? No, it didn't. It didn't get fixed. You were just, there's just apparently not an account called Hi, I think. Okay, so our design analysis plan hypotheses were pre-registered on the Open Science Framework. The pre-registration can be seen at the link, which is on the screen. Yes. Participants. We had 451 participants based in the US complete a survey via mTurk in December 2017, and we paid them 120 cents. Why did I say that? $1.20. Participants could not take part in the survey if they participated in related studies by us in the past, and in accordance with the pre-registration, were excluded from the analysis if they did not complete the survey in full, of which there were 6. They took the survey more than once, which there was 13. Or they failed a simple attention check asking them to indicate the beliefs of the target, of which there was 22. This left us with a final sample of 410 participants, which was sufficient to detect a small to medium effect size, taking an alpha of 0.05 and a power of 0.80. Yes. Yes, I don't want to explain what power and alpha are. I've already done it. Don't make me do it again. Please. Please. The majority of participants identified as white, and then there were also substantial minorities of Black, Hispanic, and Asian participants. We had roughly equal numbers of female and non-female participants, and the mean age was 41 years old. On average, participants were politically left to moderate. What was the scale for this again? I think, was it 7-point scale? So it was 3.3 out of a 7-point scale. And with more participants identifying as Democrat or Independent than Republican. Participants scored fairly low on racism and sexism and speciesism. As in previous research, participants' speciesism was positively correlated with their racism and sexism, and these were in turn positively correlated with each other. All participants were included in analysis regardless of their demographic features. Yes. So interesting that they have actually replicated the previous work that found a correlation between speciesism, like a person's amount of speciesism and then their like how racist and sexist they are. It's interesting that they've replicated that correlation. Yeah. Female and non-female is a funny way to phrase it. It is a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit of a strange way to phrase it. What is power? I refuse. Google it. Google is your friend. Oh dear. And enjoy your lurk, Jade Low. I hope that whatever you're doing is going well. Thank you for lurking. My favorite two genders, female and non-female. Yeah, like very interesting phrasing, actually. I love it when Google is my friend. Me too. Me too. I also love it when Google is my friend. It's not my friend when it gives me bad AI generated results though. That's not my friend. But when it just provides me the information that I want via links, that is my friend. Don't you hate it when you have to do psychom? I like doing psychom. I don't like doing statistics teaching. That's the thing. Like, I stopped teaching statistics because I didn't enjoy it. You know? What did I just do? What did I just... how did I just mute my music again? How did I do that? I didn't touch anything that would... Was it that? Oh, okay, that's how I do it. Okay. I've worked out how I keep muting my music. We're good now. We're good. Okay. Female and non-female is a description that includes the whole gender spectrum, to be fair. Yeah, but it's also like a bit of a random way to describe it. I don't know. Like, I'd rather know the breakdown of like men, women, non-binary, and other identities. Like, that's normally a lot more useful because I don't know, like, especially in terms of like prejudice, like, especially if you're looking at sexism, like why they've done female and non-female. I don't know why they've done, basically what I'm saying is I don't understand why they've done female and non-female when actually it would make more sense to do like marginalized genders and not, if that makes sense. Like, it would make sense to group women and non-binary people together rather than to group non-binary people and men together. I don't know. That seems to make sense to me if you're looking at sexism. Yeah. If only there was someone you could shout out who teaches statistics. I know, right? If only there was another if only there was another VTuber who I know who does cool psychology and statistics content over on YouTube, actually. They do gaming content on Twitch, but also like cool statistics content over on YouTube. If only there was someone that you could go and check out for that. Yes. Anyway, there's about to be an ad, so we know what that means. Before we get to the design of the study, it's time for some Pikmin. So I hope you enjoy your Pikmin. I'm going to go and get some water whilst you enjoy your Pikmin. I will see you in a few minutes. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11, Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Hey Pikmin, new centrifuge centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound. Pikmin electrons covalent bond. Pikmin AI published IEEE. Slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11. Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Hey Pikmin. New centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound. Pikmin electrons covalent bond. Pikmin AI published IEEE. Slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11. Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Hey Pikmin. New centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound. Pikmin electrons covalent bond. Pikmin AI published IEEE. Slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11. Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Hey Pikmin. New centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound. Pikmin electrons covalent bond. Pikmin AI published IEEE. Slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11. Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Hey Pikmin. New centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound. Pikmin electrons covalent bond. Pikmin AI published IEEE. Slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18 million and 11. Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Hey Pikmin. New centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics. Hi. I wasn't late because I didn't set a timer. I might have gone to go and eat a few beans I out of the can with a spoon. Because I was hungry, but not hungry enough to make actual food. Anyway, so where do we get to in the base? Thank you. Yes. So with the paper, the refried beans, no. I have been doing that. I did that. I finished one of a can. I've already got, okay, basically all of the black beans and refried beans turned up from Throne, right? And I've already got through most of them, like half of them. I don't know how long they've been here. Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. And I've already eaten half of them. This one was just black beans. Yes, exactly. I'm glad that you approve, Flatulence Incarnate. I approve that you approve. I should put more beans back onto Throne, actually. Hang on, let me do that right now. Has anyone suggested any more beans? No, they haven't. Okay. Let's see. How do I do this? How do I add something? Add wish. Where's Amazon? Amazon. This is very important. We need to do it right now, otherwise I'll forget. Black beans. Or do we want a bit of diversity? What beans should I put on there? Pack of 6. Pack of 6? Pack of 6. Ooh, pack of 12. Pack of 12. I do not need a pack of 12, do I? Or, I mean, I do actually, I think, saying that. It would be good. It would be nice to have a pack of 12. What's this one? Is this one a pack of 12? This one is a pack of 12. Let's go with this one. Okay. There we go. Put some more. We'll put some more put some more beans on the throne. There you go. There you go. Very good. Very good. This is like candy for vegans. It is actually. I love them so much. I love them so much. Chickpeas. Oh, chickpeas is a good shout. Chickpeas is a good shout. Let's see. Chickpeas. You can get a pack of 12 for only like £6. They're like Amazon Basics. They're probably made with lead, but you know what? I don't care. Okay, perfect. Chickpeas in water. There you go. One more thing. Perfect. Why is it? Wow, no. Why did it default to kidney beans? Hang on, I did not sign up for that. What? Excuse you? What? Okay, well, I mean, they can stay, but they can stay. Why? Why is it changing it to kidney beans? Hang on, wait, no. Okay, right. Try again. Why are you doing this? What? I can't add the chickpeas. It's only letting me add the kidney beans. Why? It's a different item. Whatever. It's fine. Whatever. Fine. No chickpeas for me. Womp womp. Does eating hummus count as eating beans? So technically, chickpeas are not beans. They are pulses. They're different. However, they're close enough, you know. Also, hi, the Rogue of Light. Hi, hello, welcome in. How are you? I hope you're good. What does the My Bean soundbite come from? We mean to ask. It's from Adventure Time. It's Lumpy Space Princess. Yes. If someone buys you bagpipes, will you play them on stream? Good question. Depends on my... It depends on how loud they are. I will certainly try. I would certainly try. Whether it would be any good remains to be seen. Oh dear. Can we make a grown tube bagpipe? Is it possible? I'm sure it must be possible. Surely. Bagpipes are unfortunately not an indoor instrument. I mean, they're mini bagpipes though. It's like tiny ones. They're tiny, apparently. Teeny tiny. I did a study in graduate school on the impact of bagpipes on memory and concentration. That's so random. I like that though. That's fun. Okay. We've added the beans. We've added the beans. I hope you're all happy. There is now beans on the throne again. I don't think I need another 6-pack of refried beans. I'm still working through the ones that I've got. Oh dear. Whoa, pack of 12? No, I don't need that. I don't need that. That's silly. That's silly. That's silly. Okay, anyway. Right, back to the actual, like, the content, the actual stream. Okay, let's stop getting distracted by... Let's stop getting distracted by beans. That's not ideal. Okay. So, papers can really be on anything as long as it's done right and feels like sometimes, yeah, I think so. I feel like a lot of research is sometimes just like, I wonder what happens if I do this thing, which is so valid. That's such a valid way of deciding what to research. But also it does mean that you get funny studies. Are you surprised by the randomness from it at this point? No, to be fair. No, I am not. Okay, anyway. So, paper. So, design. This had a 3x2 between subject exam. So there's an extra condition. There's an extra level within the prejudice condition. So now it's not just comparing racism and sexism. Sorry, it's not just comparing racism and speciesism. It's now comparing racism and sexism and speciesism all together. So it means that we end up with 3x2, which means 6 cells. There are 6 conditions. Yes. Do we remember how this works? I hope so. The instructions and items used for the racism and speciesism conditions were identical to those used in study 1. For Okay. Thank you, Flatulence Incarnate, for the beans. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will continue eating them. You know, it's the same ones that I've been snacking on, so they do actually go to good use. I appreciate this. Thank you. Oh dear. Okay. I love the dedication to the bit. Anyway, 3x2. 3x2. So between subjects designs. So people are being put into one of 6 conditions, and then the different conditions are being compared. The instructions and items used for the racism and speciesism conditions were identical to those used in study 1. For participants in the speciesism conditions, we used statements taken from the hostile sexism subscale of the ambivalent sexism inventory. So as a reminder, the way that they're manipulating the so that there's like a fake person and they're supposedly showing the results of this person's surveys, or like the responses that they gave to the survey. So they're showing their responses to the racism scale and to the speciesism scale, and now they've found a sexism scale that they're also now showing the results for people that are put into the sexism condition. Oh, my thing's going off. I need to take my medicine. Okay. I do not have it. Why is this stream so chaotic? I feel like I'm not very locked in today. Okay. The instructions and item. Yeah, okay, we've literally just read that. Give me a second. I'll be back in a second. Yes. Okay, I'm back. I've got my medicine. I'm gonna take my medicine. Okay, so let me also turn my alarm off. There we go. Okay, cool. Right. So I know this scale. I know the hostile sexism subscale of the ambivalent sexism inventory. It basically boils down to like statements that say that women are evil. That's like that's the summary of it. Like it boils down to just like women are manipulative and stuff like that. It basically is capturing negative attitudes towards women. So yeah, it makes sense as a choice. Like it is basically a scale that's like women, you know? Yeah. It's very much not a locking in date. It really isn't. It really isn't. I don't know why you're not locked in. Maybe you need a snack. I had a snack. I ate some beans. I think it's honestly just like I'm stressed about things. So like after I finish the stream today, I have to go and do a bunch of stuff. Like I have to what do I have to do? I have to do a bunch of stream stuff. I have to make a presentation, which I'm delivering tomorrow because I always do my presentations last minute apparently. And then to support the presentation, I need to basically speed read a book. And I also have to book loads of travel. That's something that I have to do. I have a lot of travel coming up this year and I've booked none of it. And I need to start booking it. So yeah. And these are all things that I'm very stressed about actually. And I also need to do laundry. That gets an honorable mention because that's never fun. But I also haven't left the house yet today. Like I woke up kind of late and because I was like on call with my friend really, really late last night. So then I woke up really late and then I kind of woke up and I did a bit of like useful stuff, but then I started stream and now I haven't really done anything yet and I need to leave the house at some point probably. I should do that. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be all fine. I'll be fine. I just I have many things to do. And many notifications to work through and stuff like that. But it's all right. It's all right. I retract my previous statement. It sounds like you do need to lock in. I feel like I do need to lock in, but probably not on the studies, you know? Like the study is the least of my issues actually. And I'm like really tired because I didn't sleep well last night. I want to go to bed early tonight. I really do, but I feel like I'm not going to again because I have so much to do. I guess I could go to bed early and wake up early, but then whenever I say that, like I wake up at like 7, which isn't even that early. So yeah. Like it's kind of early, but it's not super early. It's like normal. So yeah. I can relate to-do lists in even worse on things on deadlines, like booking for travel. Yeah, it's very overwhelming, but it's fine. It's fine. And then like some of my travel, I don't even know if I can do it yet. Like there's there's some things where like, how can I describe this? Basically, there's like a kind of uncertain situation around something that means that I don't know whether I can book certain things or not. Yeah, so I'm kind of like like some things I'm not gonna know if I can book it until literally like a week or two beforehand, which is not ideal because then things are really expensive. So oh well. Sound like you need to schedule your sleep better. It's just because like I have a kind of late, like I'm a kind of late sleeper and late riser type anyway in general. But I feel like I haven't been sleeping very well recently. And it's starting to catch up with me a little bit. Like I don't feel great today. So yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Anyway. Right. Hi Lyndon. Hi. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're good. I hope you're doing good. So where are we at? So the measures used in study 2 were almost identical to those in study 1, with a few exceptions. First, in the interest of time, we removed 4 of the least relevant character ratings from study 1, which was radical, reliable, trustworthy, and loyal, which seemed most redundant to the other items included. Secondly, we added 2 new questions. Okay, they did actually remove more than they added, which is quite good. I appreciate that. Second, we added 2 new questions where we asked participants to A, guess the target's gender, and B, predict the target's social dominance by having them indicate how much they thought the target would agree or disagree with the statement that it's probably a good thing that certain groups are at the top and others are at the bottom. Yeah. This makes sense. This is good. They've reduced the number of items overall, which I like. This is good. Now there's not as many dependent measures, and I think that's a net positive. I'm good, thanks. I hope you are too. I'm all right, thank you. I'm okay. my streamer is a crepuscular creature. What is crepuscular? That is a word I've never heard before, and now I'm going to look it up because I like learning things. Why have I keep Googling Google. Why do I keep doing this? Literally in the last week, I've suddenly started Googling Google. This is a sign that I actually am horribly sleep deprived. Okay. Crepuscular. I misread it. Crepuscular. Resembling or relating to twilight. Interesting. Active, appearing or active in twilight before sunrise or after sunset. Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's me. Maybe that is me. Haven't looked at a journal paper in a few years, so interested to see this. Yeah. Wow. So this one's kind of, this one's interesting. Let's put it that way. This one's an interesting topic. So not Twilight the movie? Apparently not. Googling Google is the first sign of haggification. It's so over. This is what happens when you're about to turn 30. That's what happens, is that then you start Googling Google and your life is all downhill from there. Hi, Yoavco. Hello, thank you for the lab safety race to check in. I hope you're good and I hope you're safe. Hello. Okay, so yes, so they've added in 2 new questions and they've removed 4 of them. Net positive, I think. So our primary analysis looked at the effort of whether the target was prejudiced or not for the 3 prejudice types separately. For each of the 3 prejudice types, we observed significant results for every single dependent measure. See table 2 for mean, standard deviations, and results for a one-way ANOVA. What? Datafox, what the heck? What the heck? Thank you for the bagpipes. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm definitely not going to torture you all with these. This is going to be interesting. Thank you. Okay, so now you can replicate my study. I can. We can do it. We can do it on stream. That's fun. That's fun. Welcome back, Khalifa. Welcome. Okay, so for each of the 3 prejudice types, we observed significant results for every single dependent measure. Looking at the evaluative judgments compared to a non-speciesist, a non-racist, and a non-sexist. A speciesist, racist, and sexist were all seen as less moral, less warm, less competent, less reliable, and more judgmental. Participants felt less positively about the prejudiced person than about the non-prejudiced person, and regardless of the prejudice type, they thought that the non-prejudiced person would make a better social partner across a variety of social roles. So, TLDR, in general, people thought more highly of people who did not express a prejudice than people who did express a prejudice. And that was regardless of the target of the prejudice. And that includes animals. When looking at the perceived attitude generalization, the speciesist, racist, and sexist were all expected to be less supportive of gay rights, black rights, women's rights, and animal rights. And they were expected to be more religious, more conservative, and higher on social dominance orientation. So, yeah. Seems kind of prejudiced. As in study 1, these results were identical when running the pre-registered ANCOVA, including participants' own prejudice, and when running an ANCOVA controlling for participants' gender, age, education, ethnicity, political beliefs, and own reported prejudice. So it kept even with many of the things that we would think could be a confound. Finally, most participants expected the prejudiced person to be male. For speciesism, it was 70%, so 70% thought they would be male. For racism, 61% thought they would be male, and for sexism, 87% thought they would be male. In contrast, less than 5% of participants indicated that they expected the prejudiced person to be female, and the remainder thought it was equally likely. Here you go. Interesting. Interesting. Why do we think that potentially people might assume a speciesist would be more likely to be male? My thinking, they've kind of referenced it a little bit earlier on, I think. But my thinking around this, dominance, maybe it could be dominance. It could be dominance. My thinking around it is something that they referenced earlier, which is that eating meat is often tied to masculinity in a lot of cultures. So as well as the dominance aspect, there's also like a behavioral / social norms aspect. I expect hunters to be male. Yeah, right? This is a kind of a part of it. Like the way that gender roles are kind of conceptualized is that women are the gatherers and men are the hunters. So it would make sense for men to then be more likely to be in favor of speciesism because that's how they're socialized. Yeah, social conditioning, exactly. Yeah. I feel like since they're women themselves, they may view someone different to be more likely to be the ones that do it. Possibly, yeah, possibly. Possibly. Although there's no indication, maybe it's in table 4. There's no indication of whether there was a gender difference on that. Let's see. Table 4. Scrolling. Wait, what? Wait, did I just completely make up a number? No, it is table 4. Okay. 2A, 2B, 2C. What? Where is table 4? Maybe it's at the bottom. Table 4, there we go. Predicted gender of prejudiced or non-prejudiced individuals. Yeah, no, they didn't separate it out by gender. That would be a really interesting thing to look into, actually. That would be a really interesting thing to look into. Whether women were more likely to assume it was a man and men were more likely to assume it was a woman. That is quite interesting. That'd be fun to dig into. Okay. Let's see. Scrolling. Hi Joe, hi. Hello, hello. Thank you for the lab safety racer check-in. And also Hunter as well. Hi. How are you? I hope you're good. And Yoavco, thank you so much for the 5 stream streak. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Like the stereotype on a date where the guy's supposed to get a huge steak while the lady is supposed to be dainty and eating. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I could have sworn they mentioned earlier that there was mostly women in the survey group. Let's have a look. I don't remember. I have no brain cells. We had roughly equal numbers of female and non-female participants. There was slightly more men and non-binary people, it seems like. Very, very slightly, but it was close enough, you know? Yeah. Okay. Where are we? We are here. Cool. But you can't think of 10 male characters from media who are bigoted. Oh, I bet you can think of 10 male characters from media who are bigoted before you can think of 5 female characters who are. I can't think of any of either. Brain machine broke. I do actually feel like I'm starting to error. Do you know what I mean when I say like you start to get tired and you feel like you're starting to error? I feel like I'm starting to do that. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Anyway, so our second more exploratory analysis, as listed in the pre-registration, was to include the interaction effect of the person and the prejudice type conditions to explore if there was a significant difference in the strength of the preference for the non-prejudice target between the 3 prejudice types. We did this using both an ANOVA and an ANCOVA that controlled for participants' own prejudice, though again both yielded identical results. For overall feelings, overall suitability as a social partner, support for gay rights, predicted ideology, and predicted SDO, there were no differences in ratings between the speciesist, sexist, or racist, nor between the non-speciesist, non-racist, or non-sexist. Regardless of the prejudice type, the prejudiced person was felt less positively about, was expected to be a worse social partner, expected to support gay rights less, and thought to be more conservative and higher on SDO. So, yeah. Basically, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they're racist or sexist or speciesist. People just don't like them. So, you know, here's a top social tip from your resident social psychologist. If you want people to like you, don't be racist or sexist or speciesist or prejudiced in any way. People don't like you if you do that. That's a bad look. There you go. It's based in evidence. Yes. I can think of 10 male characters who are bigoted without leaving Star Wars. That's so funny. I'm wondering what the use of this study is. Perhaps helping base some philosophical intuitions people rely on their argumentation. I think the biggest thing is showing that there's an underlying mechanism across all types of prejudice in relation to how people evaluate others. So, like, I think we kind of instinctively, intuitively know that, like, if someone expresses any kind of bigoted beliefs, generally people will kind of be like, ooh, ew, yikes. But this is like putting that into research, and it's showing that actually, yes, that does happen. You can see it in the data. But on top of that, it's like across all of the prejudices. Like it generalizes as a mechanism across multiple prejudices, and that includes specifically animals as well. Yeah. Yeah. I have this notion that for men, women seem to have more phobias of animals and maybe more reluctant to go near animals due to the possibility of being harmed and ruin than the surface beauty. For women's POV, I think men are usually seen as physically capable of harming animals due to the stereotypes of masculinity, such as hunting and beating animals in combat or something. Although this is my naive conjecture. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if... I feel like... I'm interested now. Is there a gender difference in phobias? This I actually don't know. Let's see. Let's see. So, okay, so I found a study from 1988, so this is very old, but it has 18,572 respondents. And apparently the most common phobias for both men and women were spiders, bugs, mice, and snakes. So it was animals, and then also heights. Women were slightly more likely to have phobias in general, regardless of the target. So there you go. Yeah. So I think the answer to that is no, actually, not on the phobias thing at least. But I do agree that there's definitely the kind of like socialized aspect of like, oh yeah, men are hunters and women are not, you know? Which is, yeah, a thing. Also, hello, Lauranticus and Ognes, thank you for the lab safety register check-ins. Thank you. I hope you're both doing good. Let's see. I do believe that's because men are less likely to admit to phobias. Yeah, there's also definitely a possibility of that men are less likely to seek help for their phobias. Yeah. I would once again say that disparity in phobias between genders would once again be social conditioning, especially in 80s society. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, like I said, yeah, help seeking, sometimes less likely among men. I literally just Googled Google again. Why have I done this? I'm going to look at Wikipedia, which is always the most useful and up-to-date information source. Let's see. Epidemiology. Okay. So there was a large scale study in 2005, but let's see. No, apparently there is a consistent gender difference being reported in the prevalence of them, but I don't know if that's based on diagnostic criteria or if it's based on symptoms. So There's a Swedish study has also found the same. Let me see what they did. Is this one open access? It's Swedish, so it might be. It is not. It never is. I'm skim reading the abstracts. Okay, no, they actually measured it in terms of scales. So there's still a chance for some response bias, basically. So there's a chance for some like social desirability bias where men are less likely to report phobias that they do actually have. But apparently there does seem to be quite a consistent difference in that women are more likely to have a phobia. But it depends on what the thing is. So basically it seems to be about double the amount of women report a phobia compared to men, which is quite a lot actually. Yeah. But yeah, it depends on the contents of the phobia. And that doesn't seem like consistently the thing I'm also seeing across these. I'm only having a look at like literally 3 studies, and it's the abstract. So this is not a consistent finding. Please take this with a grain of salt. But it does also seem that there isn't as much of a difference for social phobia, which is quite interesting. Yeah. Just switch your search to use Bing, and then Googling Google would make sense. I would not do that. I would not do that. What do you take me for? What do you take me for? Oh dear. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So, paper. Where do we get to? So, overall, people don't really like people that are prejudiced. That's the summary of the findings. This is a consistent finding regardless of the type of prejudice. Is Arse Jeeves still a thing? That's so funny. I remember Arse Jeeves. And then we did observe that for morality, the sexist was seen as more moral than the racist, and the non-sexist was more moral than the non-speciesist. For warmth, the sexist was seen as warmer than the racist. For competence, the racist was seen as less competent than the sexist and the speciesist. And for religiosity, the non-speciesist was thought to be less religious than the speciesist. All results of these analyses can be seen in the supplementary materials. Is this kind of shown in the figures? Oh, this is support for gay rights and predicted SDO. Okay. I feel like... Okay, that's interesting. Anyway. I think this study is not about whether speciesists are prejudiced in the same way as other prejudiced individuals, but rather whether people perceive them as such. Yes, Yoavco, I have actually said that multiple times. Yes, that is the whole premise of the study. It's not about whether people are prejudiced in many ways. It's about how people socially evaluate people who are prejudiced in different ways. Have I not been getting this across clearly? I've been trying to say this. How can I explain this more clearly? Everybody, like, do we actually understand what this study is doing, or am I just being incoherent and it's time for me to stop? Like, I thought it was pretty clear. Okay, but that's just one person. It's quite clear. Okay, cool. Did I understand it correctly that being prejudiced is very unsexy? Yes, actually. That is actually one of the core findings. That is unironically low-key kind of the core findings. It's pretty clear, but I have a science background, so I could be biased. Okay. I joined late. That's okay. It's slowly dawning on her, that I'm bad at science communication and I should give up and I should just go and sit in my kitchen and eat beans instead. My kitchen's not very big. I could just sit cross-legged on the floor and that's the whole kitchen, actually. So, well, I guess actually I could lie down. I could lie down in my kitchen and that would take up the whole floor space in the kitchen. Yeah. Read my other message? Oh, wait. Psydere has never doubted how much her chat is here to chat and how much is here to listen to science. Why can't we be here for both? Why can't we all be here for both? Wah! People are always coming and going. It's like giving a lecture to a crowd in a park. It is. It's really, really hard. I do try and like repeat the core parts of the paper over and over again. I do try, but sometimes I worry I'm not very good at it, especially like on days like today where I feel like I'm not really with it in general. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think we should keep reading this study, and then I feel like we should very quickly skim read the last one, and then I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like that might be it, because I feel like I'm not doing great today. I feel like there might be other things on my mind that are interacting with this, and I have many to-dos that I need to go and do, and oh dear. Hi, not the brain. Hi, how are you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. Oh dear. She immediately assumes I'd go tell her to go to the kitchen. Is that study in effect? She knows I hate animals and now she thinks I'm sexist too? Yes. Oh dear. When we evaluate philosophical arguments, we sometimes look at the truth of their premises, but sometimes at the intuitiveness of them. This study seems to be more of whether these premises sometimes used in some arguments are actually intuitive for certain populations. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. And that kind of evidence is really, really helpful, you know? It's really, really helpful to have that kind of evidence, because then you can say with a bit more certainty. And oftentimes people will they'll make an argument that's based on an intuition or based on logic, but then when you actually look at the data psychologically, it's not what you expected. People act in weird ways, so it's always very, very good to get validation on these kinds of assumptions. Yeah. Yeah. You've been a little more on task than usual, which is a little odd. It's because I want to actually read the paper. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I don't know. I think if there's a market for topic modeling tool that keeps track of how many of the people present were there during other things being mentioned, maybe. Yeah. The more intuitive, the easier it is to receive, but if it's wrong, it therefore sticks when it shouldn't. Yes, exactly. Yes. That's one of the ways in which misinformation sticks into your brain, is that if it feels like it makes sense, then you remember it, even if it's not true. Yeah. Because it matches up with what you want to hear. Yep. Confirmation bias, innit? Anyway, so our third most exploratory analysis, not listed in the pre-registration, but added on the suggestion of a reviewer. Take your reviewer, adding in non-pre-registered analyses. That's fine. That's fine. We accept it. Looked at whether there was an interaction of the person and prejudice type conditions with self-reported political affiliation, only looking at self-identified Republicans or Democrats. For many variables, we observed no three-way interaction with political affiliation. Both Democrats and Republicans perceived the prejudiced person across prejudice types to be less warm, less competent, etc. For some variables, we did, however, find that Republicans and Democrats responded differently. Democrat participants showed the expected pattern across all the prejudice types, feeling less positively about the prejudiced person and thinking they would make a worse social partner, and expecting the prejudiced person to be less moral and less supportive of rights and higher on SDO. Republicans also thought that the prejudiced person across all three prejudice types would support Black rights and women's rights less and be higher on SDO. But the effects were weaker than those observed for the Democrat participants. So, yeah, so there were the relationship between them was less strong. For ratings of morality, Republicans showed the predicted pattern for speciesism, but there was no difference between the non-racist or non-sexist and the racist and sexist. So, the Republican participants were less likely to think that a prejudiced person was less moral. But interestingly, that didn't apply for animals. They thought that if you treat animals badly, then you are a less moral person. But, you know, treating racial minorities and women worse, that didn't bother them. And then for overall feelings, Republicans again showed the predicted pattern of speciesism, but did not like the non-racist more than the racist, and actually liked the sexist more than the non-sexist. Yes. Okay. For perceived political ideology, Republicans thought that the racist and sexist would be more conservative than the non-racist and non-sexist, but perceived no difference between the speciesist and non-speciesist. This is really interesting because what this is implying, all of these findings together are kind of implying that Republicans basically, they don't like it when people abuse animals, but yeah, they're less bothered when people treat racial minorities or ethnic minorities and women differently to white people and men, which I'm not going to make a comment on. You know, that's what the data is showing. That's what the data is showing. I'm not making any kind of statement on what it means. Okay. But yeah, and finally, for partner suitability, Republicans had no preference for any prejudice type. So if you're getting into a relationship with a Republican, they're not bothered if you're racist or sexist or speciesist, basically. Yeah. Jokes aside, the animal questions are a bit more extreme, I believe. Yes, they are. But to be fair, that's because racism and sexism broadly are kind of, well, I don't know, because the hostile sexism scale is pretty wacky, actually, saying that. The hostile sexism scale is pretty wacky. But I think they use the modern racism scale for racism, and that one is a bit more subtle, but that's done on purpose because broadly, socially speaking, you know, people that are explicitly prejudiced towards like black people are not perceived very well in general. And like people know that. So they tend to be a bit more sneaky in how they do it now. Yeah. But yeah, I do agree that there is a big difference between we have solved civil rights and you should not be allowed to treat animals like objects. I agree that there is a big difference. Yeah. In meta-ethics, there is a claim that moral realism, that there are objective moral facts, is very intuitive and thus a stronger position. But after doing some experimental research, they discovered that it was a lot less clear what lay people's intuitions were, with inconclusive or inconsistent results, sometimes pointing to moral realism being unintuitive for most. Yeah. I mean, you see very big, even just cultural differences. You see very big cultural differences in what people think are moral behaviors. And like the way that people evaluate moral situations. So, yes. In general, intuitions are not a great way to study people, actually, or to make decisions. Data, good. Don't assume that what you think is what everyone else thinks. There is actually a concept called like pluralistic ignorance. Hang on. I can't spell. Okay. So it's basically this idea where people think that the majority of people believe a thing, and then it turns out they actually don't. But it's kind of like everybody kind of all believes the same mistake. So it's just kind of accepted as the norm, even though nobody wants it. So yeah. I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of an example off the top of my head. Yeah. False consensus theory. Yeah, exactly. It's like literally exactly the same thing. Or not exactly the same thing, but it's very, very close. So I think the difference, if I remember correctly, is that so I think the difference is the way that it's shared, if I remember correctly. So I think the false consensus, I'm going to get this the wrong way around. One of them is that you privately believe something and you publicly express something differently. The other one is that you assume that other people believe a certain thing and then share that opinion regardless of what you think. There's a difference between them, but I can't quite remember what they are. Also, like, my face tracking's gone a bit angry. Give me. Now, you may be wondering, why are you pulling weird faces? And the answer is because my face tracking app is like jittering. And I don't know why. Am I doing that? I hope not. I hope I'm not jittering. I don't know. False consensus is that you think more people agree with you than you actually do. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mylan. Pluralistic ignorance is that public expressions are different from private. Yes. That's the one. Yes. And then false consensus is you think people agree with you more than they actually do. Yes. Thank you. So it's like, they're like opposites, I guess. Yes. Well, they're not opposites. They're related, but they're kind of different. Yeah. I had an interesting operationalization of anxiety among the population. You'd ask people not if they're anxious, but if the people around them are anxious, and then use that as a proxy for their personal feelings. Yeah, I've heard of this type of measure quite a lot. I can't remember the context. I think I must have read this kind of methodology in some kind of misinformation study where people were like, they're not asking like, how much do you believe this? They're asking, how much do you think that your closest friends believe this? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we've learned some things. Discussion. So in study 2, we replicated and extended our findings. They did replicate and extend their findings, in fairness, that they did. I'm not going to read through all of the results again. Skimming. Okay, I think they're just, it's the type of little discussion where they're just kind of repeating what they've already said. Okay, cool. Okay, so one potential concern with the current 2 studies that they've done is that we have only measured self-report ratings and we've not explored behavioral consequences for the target based on how the participants perceive them. To do this, we decided to have participants play a dictator game. In the dictator game, one player, the dictator, who is the participant, makes a unilateral decision about how to divide an amount of money with a second player, the recipient. The dictator can allocate any amount of money to the recipient, from nothing to the entire amount, and the recipient must accept this amount. This classic interpretation of behavior in the dictator game is that it reflects a social motivation to improve the welfare of others, and correspondingly, research has demonstrated that people do transfer more in the dictator game to those that they feel more connected to. So they want to find out whether people are more likely to transfer some of this money to people as a result of their prejudice or lack thereof. Yes, yes. I read that study. It's so good. Yeah. Yeah. So. And they also wanted to take the opportunity to generalize the findings to another type of prejudice, which is homophobia. I don't think I need to explain homophobia to all of you. Surely not. Surely not. Negative attitudes towards gay people. However, so the reason why they've chosen this is partially because it's a classic form of prejudice studied in social psychology, but also because at first glance it seems to lack any direct social discourse that links attitudes towards gay people and attitudes towards animals. While both racial outgroups and women are often dehumanized through linking them to animals, such as, using animalistic words to describe them, in the English language, at least, there are no widespread slurs that are used to connect homosexuals with animals. It is possible, but we think it's unlikely that our results from study 1 and 2, by which participants similarly perceive a racist, sexist, and speciesist, are driven by derogatory metaphors in society. So because of that, we aim to, again, replicate our earlier findings, this time extending to a different group of prejudice that doesn't have those links to those slurs, and also including that behavioral measure. Cool. Does this make sense? I think this makes sense. Hi, Ari Penumbra. Hi. Thank you for the head pats, by the way. I wonder if they believe they can keep the money for real. I think it depends on how you do it. Sometimes you can keep the money for real, actually. Yeah. Does this study cover the differently abled? No, it doesn't. But that would be a really interesting one to test, I think. because they are also unfortunately subjected to a lot of the same kind of comparisons, right? Yeah. 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 Homophobia has, if we let them marry each other, then next they'll want to marry animals. That is true. That is true. I feel like it's not as common though, possibly, right? Maybe not as common. Not sure though. Not sure. So everything was open again. So participants. We had 432 participants based in the US complete a survey via MTurk. They really love their MTurk. In January 2018 and paid them $1.20. Participants could not take the survey if they'd participated in past ones, so the same as before. And they were also excluded if they did not complete the survey in full, or they took the survey more than once, or they failed an attention check, which left a final sample of 403 participants. Our sample size was determined through a power analysis showing that we needed 340 participants to detect a small to medium effect size, taking an alpha of 0.05 and a power of 0.80. Unfortunately, a typo in the setup on MTurk meant that we recruited 430 participants instead of 340, but we did not conduct any analyses until the full data collection was complete. And this error, resulting in a larger sample than planned, actually gave us more power to detect effects. I love this so much. I love this so much. I love the transparent reporting of the error that they made. This is good science. This is good science. If you make an error like this, just say it. This is amazing. We've all been there, okay? We've all been there. We've all occasionally like been setting up a study and we're like kind of stressed about it, or we're like not caffeinated enough or something like that, or it's like 10 p.m. and you want to just go to bed, but you have to do this thing because you have a deadline on it and you want to let it run overnight. Like, we've all been there, okay? Every scientist ever has been there. If anyone tells you that they haven't been there and they're a scientist, they're lying, okay? Oh, dear. But yes. Yes. If you don't mean specifically in terms of slurs and just in terms of general association, the AIDS epidemic was used to associate gay people with having sex with monkeys, unfortunately. Yeah. And also you saw that again, like exactly the same thing happened again with what was it called? The skin condition that had like a small epidemic. There was a lot of the same there, where people were like using it as a way to be homophobic effectively. What was it called? Monkeypox. Yes, that's the one. Monkeypox. Yes. Mpox. Yes. Mpox. You saw a lot of it around Mpox as well. So yeah. I agree with you. There is definitely some kind of precedent there. Yes. But, you know, I think that finding a group that is not dehumanized with animalistic terms at all is really difficult. It's really, really difficult because it's one of the kind of default ways that unfortunately we do it, you know, it's like, oh, we want to make it easier for us to treat these people badly, let's compare them to animals, which kind of just shows how deep rooted our opinions, like our belief in our superiority over animals is. But yeah. If there's no like direct slurs, then it makes it one of the options that you can use. But you know, replication is also always good. It's always good. And yes, reporting the errors does show honesty and good faith in reporting. Exactly. Yes. Oh, I guess there's an ad again. Okay. I guess there's an ad again. Well, okay, it's already started. Do we want Pikmin? Is this what you want? Do you want a couple of rounds of Pikmin? Yes. Love the Pikmin song? Okay. If one more person says yes, then I'll play the Pikmin song. We know we do. Okay, there you go. That's number 3. All right. Okay. Release the Pikmin. I will be back shortly. I will see you in a few minutes. Well, actually, like 2 saying that. Yes, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18, billion and 11, Pikmin 3 Deluxe and hey Pikmin, new centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound, Pikmin electrons covalent bond, Pikmin AI published IEEE, slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your culture. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18, billion and 11, Pikmin 3 Deluxe and hey Pikmin, new centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin chest tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound, Pikmin electrons covalent bond, Pikmin AI published IEEE, slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. Pikmin in your culture. Pikmin in your fucking culture. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18, billion and 11, Pikmin 3 Deluxe and hey Pikmin, new centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin chest tube, Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound, Pikmin electron. Welcome back. Did you enjoy your Pikmin? I hope you enjoyed the Pikmin song. Right, anyway. Where did we get to? What are we talking about? Yes. Happy little accident indeed with the let the song finish. No. Pikmin 1 and 2 and Pikmin 3. Pikmin you play control for the Wii. Pikmin 4 and 5, Pikmin 6, Pikmin 7, Pikmin 18, billion and 11, Pikmin 3 Deluxe and hey Pikmin, new centrifuge to put Pikmin in. Pikmin in your membrane, that's called Pikmin blot. Old Pikmin theorem that scientists forgot. New mechanics, quantum Pikmin. Pikmin test tube. Pikmin balloon mount, radio sound, Pikmin electrons covalent bond, Pikmin AI published IEEE, slowed down Pikmin due to relativity. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating all it touches. Pikmin in your culture where you can see it contaminating everything it touches. There you go. You've had the end of the song now. Stop complaining. Okay. Right. So, anyway, the study. I hope you enjoyed this live rendition. What's the forgotten theorem meant to be? I don't know. It's forgotten. Well, I wouldn't know. I'm a scientist. I've forgotten it. Oh, dear. 3 minutes didn't pass. Please do another round. I'm... No. Anyway, so... The majority of participants identified as white, and then there was also Black, Asian, and Hispanic participants. We had roughly equal number of female and non-female again. Why? Why is this phrased like this? And the mean age was 41 years old. On average, participants were politically left to moderate with a mean of 3.38 and the midpoint being 4. So they were indeed a little bit left to moderate. And with more participants identifying as Democrat or independent than Republican. You can see the numbers on screen. You can read, hopefully. Participants scored fairly low on homophobia and speciesism, and these were significantly positively correlated. So again, if someone is speciesist, they're also more likely to be homophobic. Interesting. Seems to be some kind of recurring pattern going on there, some kind of perhaps underlying mechanism between all types of prejudice. Fascinating. And all participants were included in analysis regardless of their demographic features, as one would hope. It would be a bit weird if a study about prejudice was discriminating. Anyway, this study had a 2x2 between subjects design. They were comparing speciesism and homophobia and prejudice type, and with target, they were looking at, again, prejudiced or non-prejudiced. The instruction and items used for the speciesism conditions were exactly the same as 1 and 2. For participants in the homophobia condition, we included statements taken from the 5-item attitudes towards gay men scale. Just gay men. Interesting. That is interesting. Anyway, maybe it's a good validated scale. I don't know, but it's a bit random that it's only gay men and it's not also lesbians. That seems very random to me and strange. Did you say mean age of 41? That's way higher than usual in my experience. Yeah, it does seem to be quite a high mean, actually, given that it's MTurk. I don't know what's going on with that. Although saying that, I think when I did my MTurk research, I think my mean age was like 36 or something. So maybe MTurk is actually just, a bunch of middle-aged and older liberals that take part in surveys because they want to. I don't know. I've never really looked into how the participant base is comprised, to be honest. I probably should at some point. I wonder if it's from the era before much study on gay women. Maybe. I mean, the scale definitely is, right? The scale is, well, it shouldn't be, but it's like 1994. And I feel like that makes sense. It's a 90s scale, that makes sense. But this study here, this one is 2019. So I don't know why they kind of just forgot about lesbians. Attitudes against gay men are much more researched than against lesbians, hence why there's better tested scales. I see. Also, hi, Narc Navist. Hi. That makes sense. It's not my area, so I don't really know that much about it. Yeah. So the measures used in study 3 were pretty much the same as study 2. We again measured perceptions of warmth, competence, morality, and also suitability for different social roles. And then they saved a bit of space by dropping a couple of those items. In the dictator game, this is the interesting bit. In the dictator game, participants were told that they had an additional bonus of 30 cents that they could choose to transfer some of it to the target, who would be paid to them as a bonus after the study. Choices were given in 5-cent increments, and participants were given the amounts that each target would receive in parentheses. For example, give 0, you receive 30. Or give 5, you receive 25, the other person receives 5. At the end of the study, participants were actually paid based on their decision, receiving the 30 cents bonus minus whatever they had chosen to transfer. So yeah, they actually followed through with what they were saying in the study. It's not like a hypothetical, how you think that you're transferring money and you're actually not. Like they do actually get the amount that they opted in for in the study, which is quite cool because it means that it's a very, very small behavioral incentive, but it is a behavioral incentive nonetheless. Yeah. Let's see. So, it would also make sense that attitudes towards gay people of different genders might differ significantly. Yeah, definitely. I guess now that I think about it out loud, I think that it makes sense maybe to exclude lesbians on the basis that they've already established that there is a interlink between speciesism and sexism. And obviously attitudes towards lesbians are intersectional. It's sexism and homophobia. It's both. So I guess they're thinking if they look at attitudes towards gay men, then it's kind of partialing out the sexism intersectionality component of it, which actually does make sense now that I've said it out loud. This seems like robust decision making now that I actually think about it for more than 3 seconds. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, there was an even more interesting study where they let a dictator choose how much to transfer, and the transferred amount was multiplied, and then the other person decided how much to return back. In the study, the cooperation with and without one-sided communication was studied. I think I might have read that one, actually. That seems very familiar. That description sounds very familiar to me. I think I might have read it. Okay. But like a long time ago, like during my master's or something. So, for all of the prejudice types, we observe significant results for every single dependent measure, except for judgmentalness and religiosity, for which there was no effect for speciesism. Results from one-way ANOVAs for both. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I don't know why I'm reading stuff in parentheses. We don't care about the parentheses. Compared to a non-speciesist and someone who isn't homophobic, a speciesist and someone who is homophobic were seen as less moral, less warm, less competent, and less reliable. Participants felt less positively about the speciesist and the homophobe than about the non-speciesist and the non-homophobe. And for both prejudice types, participants thought that the non-prejudiced person would make a better social partner across a variety of social roles. Both the speciesist and the homophobe were expected to be less supportive of gay rights, black rights, women's rights, and animal rights, more conservative, and higher on social dominance orientation. Additionally, the homophobe was seen as more religious. Yes. And then these results were identical when they ran ANCOVAs, which included participants' own prejudice. Yes. Cool. So basically they found the same thing again. That's the TLDR of it. They found the same thing again. It replicated. Let's see. Finally, looking at predicted gender, most participants expected both the speciesist and the homophobe to be male, with less than 3% of participants expecting the prejudiced person to be female, and the remainder thinking it was equally likely. Our second, more exploratory, I mean, again, that kind of makes sense, especially since there's like a whole intersection between like, there's an intersection between masculinity and animal, like treatment towards animals. There's also an intersectionality between like masculinity and how people respond to gay people. Yeah, like a big part of like, basically, there's this theory that like masculinity is constructed basically for each person, and it's very easy to lose it. One of the ways that people feel like they can lose their masculinity is by being perceived as not being interested in women. And this I think these two things tie together. Yes. Yes. Okay. It was from ages ago, maybe even before my undergrad, like 10 plus years ago. I probably did read it during my undergrad or master's then, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I was about to complain about ANCOVA, but then I realized one of the epidemiological models variant names was something like 5 to 7 letters. What is it with statistical models and always having really long names? Like, why do they do this to us? It's so annoying. Oh, pain. I suffer. I suffer. Me, when I open up the long named statistical model. Oh dear. In Norse religion, supposedly, if you had male on male intimacy, the bottom was considered a woman after, but that's from more than 1,000 years ago. I think that is kind of, yeah, I think it's kind of something that's embedded in culture quite a lot. Yeah. These things last a very, very long time, right? These kinds of narratives, they last a very long time. So, yeah. Yeah. Right, okay, so our second, more exploratory analysis, as listed in the pre-registration, was to include the interaction effect of person and prejudice type conditions to explore if there was a significant difference in the strength of the preference for non-prejudiced target between the three prejudice types. They did using both ANOVA and ANCOVA. For overall feelings, warmth, competence, transfers in the DG, the dictator game, overall role suitability, and predicted social dominance orientation, we found that we only found a main effective target condition and no interaction effect. So that means that there were no differences in ratings between the prejudiced speciesist and the homophobe, nor between the speciesist and the non-homophobe. For perceptions of morality and predicted support for black rights, we did observe an interaction effect, but the only interesting pairwise comparison was that there were significant where the sorry, this bit I'm starting to struggle with a little bit. Is it me or is this a lot of words? I feel like these sentences are like really long. Anyway, so we observed an interaction effect, and the pairwise comparisons that were significant was the main effect comparisons of whether each person was prejudiced or not. Therefore, regardless of the prejudice type, scroll, the person was seen as less warm, less moral, and less competent, received fewer transfers in a dictator game, was felt less positively about, and was thought to make a worse social partner, and was thought to be higher on social dominance orientation, and was thought to be less supportive of black rights. Yes. For the variables in which there were an interaction effect, we unsurprisingly, given the manipulation, found that the speciesist was thought to be less supportive of animal rights than the homophobe, and the homophobe was thought to be less supportive of gay rights than the speciesist. Again, it makes sense. That shows that your manipulation's working as you want. Finally, for predicted support for women's rights and predicted ideology, we found significant differences between the speciesist and the homophobe, such that the homophobe was seen as significantly more conservative and the speciesist was thought to support women's rights more than a homophobe. Interesting. So people thought that someone who expresses speciesist beliefs was less sexist than someone who is homophobic. Interesting. That is quite interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I have no authority on making sense and short messages if you see my chat history. In Aztec culture, we had gods of male and female homosexuality and dedicated holidays. Nice. It's definitely not every culture. Normally it's ones that have got what's the word? You know, some kind of like European influence. Yeah. But yeah. It varies by culture, but unfortunately there has been a bit of a tendency over time to suppress gay or oppress gay people. Yeah. This has been a good paper. It's been interesting, hasn't it? It's one of those ones where they're doing, I feel like what they're testing, conceptually, it's quite straightforward. It's pretty easy to understand what they're doing, I think, which is really, really nice. They're getting kind of complicated with their stats, but not on the basis of it actually being complicated. It's actually quite simple. It's more just like the number of analyses they're doing that's making it complicated. Yeah, I'm always like an advocate for not having loads and loads and loads of dependent variables. It can be very, very tempting in psychology to have a lot of dependent variables and to be like, I'm going to test the impact of my manipulation on like 72 different things. Please don't. Please just don't do that. It makes your paper really confusing to read. Like the experimental design for this paper, super clear and makes sense. The bit where it's starting to get a bit confuddling is when you've got like, these massive lists of all of the things that it's affected. That starts to get quite difficult to process. Yeah. Makes it feel like they're hunting for a specific outcome to me. I think it's more that they're just checking that the same thing is found consistently across the board. Like, I don't think they're like p-fishing. I think it is that they're checking that it's consistent no matter how you measure it, which isn't a bad thing. But I do feel like this. So one thing that I have seen occasionally is like, where a paper has a lot of like outcomes, they'll have the stats table like this. And then on top of that, they'll also then have like another table that's like graphically showing whether each thing was how each thing was related and whether that matched the hypothesis. Also, Ori, hi! Hi, Ori, hi! Thank you so much for the sub. What the heck? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing good. And thank you for the 5 months. Too late, I've already drawn a cute Markov chain. No! No. Oh, dear. I may head off early because I ate a bowl of gone-off curry. You ate a bowl of gone-off curry, huh? I'm concerned for you. Please don't get sick. Oh dear. We're actually almost done with the paper, to be fair. We're actually very close to the end. I did end up looking up MTurk and how research using it as a resource is viewed. Yeah? What did you find? My understanding is that MTurk used to be kind of decent during the late 2010s, and then during 2020, loads of people joined it during the pandemic, and then it got really heavily botted, and loads of people from developing countries, like low and middle income countries, all joined it, and then now it's like kind of not great. Because you'll be like, I want a sample of people from the US, and then it will just be a bunch of people in like other countries that are VPNing. That's my experience of MTurk. There's also a lot of bots on it now. Lots of AI. Yeah. Yeah. By looking up, I mean skimming a short paper in Wikipedia. Supposedly this is the right type of research to use it on. Yes, it is. It is. If you're doing like a kind of simple experiment where you're just like showing different things, like you effectively, this study is A/B testing, for lack of a better phrase. Like it's A/B testing. That's how I normally do, because I do this kind of research where it's like an experiment embedded in a survey, and I always explain it also as A/B testing. Because that's basically what it is. I'm just A/B testing. So yeah, MTurk is quite useful for A/B testing type of research. Yes. But yeah, why is AI in a place where people are needed as samples? I wish I could tell you, but like basically people set up fake accounts and then they use AI to like automatically click through the survey and get the money. That's how they do it. And you can always tell what it is. Like I would always set it up so that like if they completed this, say it was like a survey that takes like 15 minutes on average, I'd be like, if you're taking less than 5 minutes to complete it, you're either not paying attention or you're not actually doing it. And I had one person that was like, they completed a 20-minute survey in 3 minutes. And then there was like a bunch of accounts then that all had exactly the same time and exactly the same answers. And I was like, this is very clearly AI. Come on, stop it. Stop it. Yes. Anyway. So what next? Okay, we're on to like the most exploratory analysis, which was also suggested by a reviewer. So, it's messed up. Yeah, it is a bit messed up. Oh dear. Okay. So, our third most exploratory analysis, not listed in the pre-registration but added at the suggestion of a reviewer, looked at whether there was an interaction of the person and prejudice type conditions with self-reported political affiliation. So they're repeating the analysis that was suggested for study 2 as well. For many variables, we observed no three-way interaction. Both Democrats and Republicans perceived the prejudice person across prejudice types to be less supportive of gay rights, women's rights, and black rights, higher on social dominance orientation, and more politically conservative and religious. However, there were some slight differences in how Democrats and Republicans responded on certain variables. So, Democrat participants showed the expected pattern across prejudice types, feeling less positively about the prejudiced person, thinking they'd be a worse social partner, expecting them to be less moral, less warm, less competent, less supportive of animal rights, and transferring more money to the non-prejudiced person in the dictator game. Okay. So, they matched the overall pattern. But for Republicans, the non-speciesist was seen as more moral and warmer than the speciesist. Okay, as expected. The non-speciesist received more transfers in the dictator game than the speciesist. Again, expected. And the non-speciesist was thought to make better social partner than the speciesist. Again, expected. However, there was no difference for Republican participants in the homophobia conditions. For ratings of competence, Republicans showed no effects for either prejudice type. So homophobia and speciesism did not affect how Republican participants rated someone's competence. So the speciesist was thought to support animal rights less than a homophobe. Okay. Yes. So, yeah. Yeah. So basically, it seems like there was a bunch of outcomes where Republicans were kind of not really fazed by someone being homophobic. Which, again, I'm not making any comment about it, but, you know, that's what the data says, you know? That's what the data says. So here's the breakdown in terms of percentages. Oh, that's just male, female. Okay. That's the how likely they thought they were to be different things. They have a breakdown. This question mark? No, that's support for gay rights and predicted social dominance orientation. Okay, that's not what I'm after. Okay, I guess that's something that was in the. Yeah. No, that would be something that was in the supplementary materials then. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I'm not reading the discussion section. It's just going to say more of the same. But basically, what they have found is Republicans are less bothered by people being prejudiced than Democrats. Not really surprising, actually, given that, you know, the social stances that involves. Yeah. I've got nothing. My brain's starting to shut down. That's it. That's the paper. We're not reading the discussion. I don't want to. Yay! We finished the paper. I feel like I've been getting progressively less coherent over time. What was the sample size? I missed it. In study 3, it was 400-ish, if I remember correctly. Yes, because they meant to recruit 340, but then they accidentally recruited 430, but then they were like, oopsie, oh well. Yippee. Yes. This is what they found. Yes. These are some findings. So, with that being said, I don't know what to tell you now. I am very tired and very hungry and a bit stressed, actually. I have to go and do many things. I have so many things to go and do. So with that being said, I think that might be it for today. My brain hurts. My brain hurts. I think you earned a nap. I think I might go and have a nap. Yeah, I might actually go and have a bit of a nap. I'm going to have some pasta first and foremost because I'm really, really hungry. I'm really hungry. Good luck on literally everything. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the good luck. Lord knows I need it. Lord knows I need it. So I need to explain some things. Wait, before I go, I need to tell you some things. Some announcements, as it were. Some things to tell you. The schedule next week is going to be a little bit different. I don't have my schedule made yet. That's one of the things that I need to do. Let me find my document with my calendar on it. Okay, so next week is going to look a little bit different to normal. So we're going to have Monday and Tuesday streams as we generally do. Where is my documentation? Where are you? Where are you? I can't find it. Documentation. There you are. Okay. So here is what we're doing. Here is what we're up to. Okay. So next week. So Monday, tomorrow. It's March. Oh god, it's March. Oh, okay. So here's what I'm thinking. March the 2nd, Monday, tomorrow, in fact. Potentially we play some House Flipper? Question mark? House Flipper? How do we feel about House Flipper? I like House Flipper personally. I'm a big fan. So I think this is a good idea. Then Tuesday, both only March and already March somehow. I know, right? Yeah. Thanks for the stream. It was really nice to catch one. Have a great evening. Thank you. You too. Thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. But yes. So we're going to do House Flipper. Tuesday, I have nothing. What do we want to do on Tuesday? My brain is broken. I don't know what to do. I was thinking maybe... So I think the two sensible choices potentially, like... We have choices. It's a Tuesday. That means we're going to be doing some chatting. But what would you like to do while we're chatting? Would you like to do a reaction stream? Would you like to do just yapping? Would you like to do karaoke? What is the preference? What do we want? I'm asking for input because my brain is so broken I actually can't work out what I'm doing. So tell me what you want. And then instead of Sunday, karaoke. I missed the last karaoke. Okay, we want karaoke. Fine. Okay. Okay, we'll do karaoke. I am just a puppet that is at the whims of your demands. And then, okay, so that, I guess we're doing karaoke then. And then, instead of Sunday, so we're not streaming on Sunday this week. We're not streaming on Sunday. There will be no Psychology Sunday next week, but instead we're doing Saturday. And we're going to be doing room reviews. So this is the important announcement. This is the important announcement that you need to know. If you would like to submit your room for review, you can do that. Allow me to find the link that would allow you to do that. Here it is. Here is the link. That is, there we go. You submit your rooms for review, okay? It's not just me. It's not just me, okay? Mylin's gonna be joining us. Yippee! So if you've ever wanted your room to be reviewed by 2 psychologists, now is the time to submit. We will be looking at how you live and thinking about what this says about you as a person, but not in the way that you might think. I think it's very fun. Also, that stream is going to be marking the start of British Science Week. So did you know that in the UK, there is a week called British Science Week? It's a week, but it's not a week. It's actually a week and a couple of days. It's like 10 days or something. I don't know why they call it week. But yeah, British Science Week. So all of the streams next week are going to be, not next week, but like from the 7th until the 15th, they're all going to be science themed. So even if normally I'm like, oh yeah, you know, this is the gaming stream, we're going to be doing science gaming. So keep an eye out for that. However, I'm not 100% sure how many streams there are going to be because I might have to travel last minute. We'll see how it goes. And it's the same for the week after. I've got 2 weeks in a row where I'm like, am I traveling? Am I not traveling? I don't know. We'll find out. Yippee. It do be like that. So yes. But yeah, feel free to submit your rooms if you would like them reviewed. What's the methodology for the room reviews? We look at them. There might be some other methodology potentially that we are thinking of doing, but I do need to talk to Mylin a bit more about it, but it's on my list of things that I need to do tonight. So yes, yes, if you would like your room reviewed, please consider submitting your room. I think it would be funny. Yes, that is my announcement. That is my announcement. When does the submission end? It will end the day before the stream. So it will, please submit your room by 5 p.m. UTC on Friday the 6th of March. Yes. Yes. And if you need the link, I have posted it on Blue Sky and on Twitter, and I've also put it in the Discord server. So you can access the link through all of these places. Here is the Discord server, in case you are not in it and you wish to be. Feel free to join. It's not like the thingy is there to stop bots getting in. Like, you can just join. You are in fact an agent who can make decisions. Oh dear. Anyway, with all of that being said, where should we go today? What's we watch some. Okay, here are the choices. There's many choices. Lego. There's Lego. There's Truck Simulator. There is chatting. There is Honkai Star Rail. There are so many options, actually. There are so many options. What are we feeling? I don't know what to choose. There's too many options almost. Raid Vedal, power move. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I hope you do a pre-screening of the pictures just in case. I am doing the pre-screening, yes. Mylin's going to be going into this blind. Oh dear. Let's see. Lego sounds fun. Let's do Lego then. Let's do Lego. When was the last time that I raided Tofu? Tofu's playing. What is Tofu playing? Tofu's playing. Let's see. Let me have a look. What's Tofu up to? Tofu is playing God of War Ragnarok. I don't know what that is, and I'm scared to ask, actually. She's been going for 6 hours. She's been going for 6 hours. She has been going for 6 hours. That's quite a long time. Okay, let's go for Ty. Let's go for Ty. Let's go for Ty. Let's go for Ty. Okay, so raid message. What? Raid message. Raid message 1. The top one is if you're a subscriber. The bottom one is if you're a not subscriber. Yes. Let's see. Following. Ty. We go raid Ty. Ty's been streaming for less time. Tofu has been streaming for quite a while, so I feel like it's not ideal to go and raid into her. Because she might be ending soon. So yeah, let's go raid Ty. Please be nice to Ty. Yes. Thank you all so much for joining me. Like I said, next stream is tomorrow. Next stream is tomorrow. Ty is lovely. She is lovely. Let's go say hi. Okay. I don't forget to submit your rooms for review if you wish to. I got nothing. I'm sorry. My brain's actually broken. I'm going to go eat a large quantity of pasta now. I realized I haven't eaten a proper meal in a while. So I should do that. By a while, I mean a few days. I've mostly been consisting on like, you know, weird things. Anyway, that's beside the point. Yes, I'm going now. Goodbye. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for you know, the subs and follows and everything. Thank you for joining me with the research. See you maybe tomorrow? Question mark. I'm really not functioning very well. I'm sorry. I will see you next time. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.